today on Jocelyn's channel.
Hi, nice to see you all.
So,
Waiting for Mark to pull up the thing so I can actually read and see who's here. Mr. Blonde and Thomas and Nick and Henry.
Lee was here. Lee's having quite the day.
Lee's having quite the day. I'm sorry. You did have a day. I'm sorry.
Hey,
John,
Sue.
hello. Maxwell, hi. Pila, hello. And Scorpio Sue, Ronnie Dove, Mark Finley, of
Henry's
course.
in the house. What's up,
Rob's
Henry?
on. Hey.
What's up, Rob?
What's cooking tonight? Actually, so I made a super fast Alfredo, if you will, and the kids said that was the best sauce they've ever made. And it was super simple. So.
And she didn't film it, so we'll have to put it together again.
No, well, I don't film everything I make.
No, we're not there yet. It's not like I can travel, so. But that'll be coming. Hey, Eric B. Good to see you.
Hi, Eric.
Devil Rock Rules. Nick. Tasha.
Hello.
So Pila wants to know, hey, just have a question. Do you think it's better to complete 2 weeks of self-quarantine or complete a COVID-19 test when arriving to a new country? Thanks for replying. I would do the test personally because I would want to know.
A lot smarter,
because then if you know you're sick or you know you have it, you want to take care. You're like, okay, you're gonna have to quarantine anyway, so you might as well, have it done. At least that's what I would do. Oh,
Rob said he made some coleslaw with delicious Hellman's mayonnaise. You're so funny.
Yeah.
You're right there. Duke's is in Virginia. Why can't you just switch, dude? Hi, Kathy.
Because it's hard to get Dukes everywhere.
In Virginia, it's made in Richmond.
But he might be in D.C. and they might have a supply chain issue, and therefore
I can get it in Illinois.
Maybe he had a tour, and the Hellman's people were on the tour, and so he feels that he needs to buy Hellman's all the time.
Mark's so full of poop.
I'm just trying to help Rob out. That's all I'm thinking about.
Oh, hello, Darian and Michael Mon. It's nice to see so many of you on here.
Michael, I guess you sent that message to my Professor Wolters Instagram because I haven't found your message that you were talking about.
Roxanne, yeah, I'm way better than I was last week. And I was exhausted last week. We've been at the beach and I was hot. And we got home, the first?
The second,
and I am feeling far better.
Took you a couple days though.
Yeah,
She didn't hit the pool with me and the boys the first couple days.
Well, that's because I ate too much and I felt fat in my swimsuit.
I always feel fat in my swimsuit, but it doesn't stop me.
All right, Def Leppard rules rock. Do you think that we will live with the coronavirus forever until the vaccine comes?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a virus. And vaccines aren't always even perfect on viruses. So who knows what the heck's going to happen. But I don't think it's just going to run away. Although if we all prayed about that, maybe that would happen. That would be kind of amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
or if we all just
stayed home for 2 weeks and quarantined. Well,
nah.
I'm not even going to get into that
stuff.
Hi,
Megan. It's nice to see you. Let's see. Vagabani, hello. It's nice to see you too. Gosh, there's just all of our people are on here.
I know. That's nice because when we do it on the Simply Jocelyn channel, it kind of turns into more of a intimate setting without as many of the random stuff like Mark and some of the other people don't have to spend all their time stopping people.
Yeah, you don't have to just be a moderator. You can hang out. So.
Lee Bridges, today I'm inspired by the Wolters' resilient Plan B attitude toward traveling. That's right. Works in cooking as well. When life gives you a dead freezer, make seafood stew. Here go the onions and fennel and olive oil. That's right, Lee.
That sounds perfect. Onions and fennel and olive oil. Fresh fennel or dried? I usually use tarragon in my seafood stews. I don't know why. I love tarragon. I think it's a highly underrated herb, and so people should try it more, right?
And then when you go to Tarragona in Spain, you're like, hey, I was in the city that's had the same name.
There you go.
So I remember going there and thinking that. And that's actually a nice little Forum Coliseum kind of thing there. It's a nice trip if you're looking for a day trip around a big city, relatively
Lauren.
near Barcelona. It's well worth it. Hidden Martinez, what are your thoughts on Cancun, Mexico being open for some countries? Gabriel Travel just went there and uploaded 2 videos. I will take Gabe's word on it. I like Gabe. I mean, Gabe's a pretty realistic guy when it comes to cheap travel and doing stuff and being smart about it. So, well, I would, not having seen this video, I can't say 100% agree with what he says, but usually he and I will find a lot of similarities in what we kind of think about. I think one of the things you have to look at is it doesn't matter if places open up or are closed. A lot of it comes down to how you feel about the situation. And it's not just about COVID. It's about safety, security, terrorism, all that kind of stuff. You know, there's times where like, you know what, we're going to have to push back on a trip, or maybe we'll put it a different time of the year. I remember one time I was supposed to be taking my aunt and uncle and my parents to Prague, and there was a WTO meeting. I think it's either WTO or IMF or something like that was meeting. And there's all kinds of protests and stuff. And my aunt and uncle were in their 70s. And I'm just like, you know, this is hard enough for me to get. I'm like, so we ended up like mid-trip. Like we were in Berlin and supposed to take the train down to Prague. And we switched it and went to like Dresden, Augsburg, and did some other stuff. Which turned out to be very nice because my aunt is really big in her church. And so her like group is like the Augsburg ladies group. And so for her, it was like, oh, I'm in Augsburg. So she knew a lot more than I did about Augsburg. So she was really happy with that. But you know, you always got to keep abreast on those things and kind of make those decisions that work for you.
Lauren, it's nice to see you. We've missed you. You haven't been around in a really long time. It seems like months. So welcome back. You know, and Eric B says, I think that even if we have a vaccine, masks may be more of a regular thing. And you know, I don't think that's bad. I was very comfortable in China and Japan wearing masks as needed, and I liked the fact that people who, you know, were sick put a mask on just to keep
Help
from
others.
Spraying it around, you know. So,
yeah, I mean, and I have classes like where I teach at the University of Illinois. I mean, I have one of my bigger classes. Sometimes I'll have 600 people. I mean, it'll be 30% of the students, 25% of the students are Chinese students, and they wear their masks at class and stuff like that. Nobody says anything. The other students, I mean, it was kind of like a normal thing. And it was funny because it was past spring, you know, when this was starting, there's a group of girls that always wore them, and then you kind of saw more and more of the masks coming. It wasn't just the Chinese students; it was everybody. So I think you'll see that, and I think for a lot of people, you just feel better about it because you're just kind of worried. I mean, I can understand people. I fault no one for wearing masks. So.
Darian said that they purchased their lamb and they're going to try my recipe. I can't wait for you to tell me how it turns out. I think you're really going to love it. It's so flavorful.
So, John Solak, good to see you on here. Hey guys, a group of 8 early 30s guys will be in Bruges and Brussels in March. We have room for 2-day trips. Where should we go? Leuven, Antwerp, Ghent. We are into history, architecture. John, did you write me on Instagram, I think? But okay, because I think half your time's based in Bruges and half your time is based there. So I would say for one of the day trips, Ghent is a really good day trip from Bruges, or it's based the same from Bruges or Brussels. I'd probably do it from Brussels just because you're going to have more like relaxing, having a nice time in Bruges, like on the squares, eating mussels and hanging out with your friends and doing stuff. It's easy to relax and have time with your friends in Bruges than it is in Belgium. So maybe do a day trip from Brussels to go to Ghent would be one I would recommend. Leuven, I actually taught in Leuven. It was during the World Cup, so 2014, I think. And you can do like a brewery tour there, and there's some bike paths like everywhere around there. It's really kind of small. Like that would be definitely like a half-day trip if you went there. There's some stuff to see. All my students kept going out and going to other towns during that time. Antwerp would be fun. That's the one that my students actually recommended the most, is actually Antwerp. A lot of my Belgian friends, like Antwerp's a place you got to go. So of those 3, I would do Antwerp and Ghent as the day trip stuff.
KMP, have y'all been to the Capuchin Crypt in Rome, the Bone Museum across the street from the Hard Rock Cafe? It's amazing. We've been to a few
bone places, but we have not been to that one.
Not to that particular one, but
we did do the chapels.
We did the
crypts.
The crypts out, but they're like way
catacombs.
outside the catacombs, way outside of town, which
Yeah.
was really cool. And Caleb
if you do the catacombs
that day.
If you do the catacombs in Rome, make sure you have an Uber app so you can get an Uber to come get you to get out of there, because we were there before that and it got a little complicated.
And the buses are not like they're not often, and it's kind of, it was a pretty complicated thing, but I always remember that day as the day that Caleb lost his pacifier and never had one again. So Lauren has been very busy, and she's been working double hours, which is great, but also pretty exhausting, I would guess, too. So, but I'm glad you're working. That's a huge thing right now for many, many people. Vagabondy, we had a wonderful 4th of July. Because the city and nobody's doing 4th of July fireworks, all over the neighborhood. There were fireworks going everywhere, but Caleb had been riding his bike around, and he came to us a little bit, like right around dusk, and he said, there's a bunch of people, there's a big one going on at the park up the way. So we got in the car, we drove up there, and there weren't a ton of people, but what people there were, it was like little knots of families, and there's a bunch of, everyone was spacing out really well. And if you look on either me or Mark's Instagram, we kind of posted a video of it, but it was great. Honest to God, I think that was probably it reminded me of 4th of July as a kid.
Yeah, because I remember when we were kids, that at least was, we'd have like a 4th of July brunch, and we'd watch Wimbledon, because it was the 70s, so everybody, 70s and 80s people played tennis, and so my dad played tennis. I think he still does it now. No, I think he finally stopped, but he played tennis since he moved to Quincy, where I'm from, in the late 60s until probably last year. He played tennis every Thursday night, and he had the same group of guys
because he had to be there for tennis. He never missed.
So for 40 years, the dude played tennis.
Unless he's
50
in
years.
Europe or wherever.
Yeah. I mean, so he would do that, and so tennis was always a big thing. And my mom, there was a ladies group as well. That just all these wives and husbands would play and stuff. And so it was like, oh, breakfast at Wimbledon. So we'd have 4th of July, Wimbledon, and then there'd be and then you'd grill out, and then you'd have the fireworks, and then we'd go and watch the city's fireworks. And
as a kid, I vaguely remember there being city fireworks, but
it's true. I only remember those in high school.
In high school, I don't think that happened until the mid '90s, or I don't know, or I don't have a remembrance of it.
Or we'd sneak off. There's a country club in our hometown.
Mm-hmm. I've watched them there.
They're that's the only day randos like us could come on the course and watch the fireworks.
That was a beautiful place to watch. I remember going there a few times in high school. So I loved the 4th of July this year probably more. And on the 3rd, it was really cool because we've got cornfields all over and parks and things where we live. And literally you could go out to our driveway and you could see these people on this end and people on this end just lighting up the sky. And it was really cool.
The neighborhood past the neighborhood. So
yeah,
it was nice.
But you could see forever out here, and it was really pretty amazing.
So Darian wants to know, have you ever made egg custard pie?
I haven't made egg custard pie. I've had I've made egg custard, but not egg custard pie.
And she filmed a creme brulee.
I did film creme brulee.
Hopefully we'll have out for you next Saturday.
We're trying to upload the sweets things on Saturdays, and soon, cross your fingers, we're going to start doing cocktails on Fridays. So we'll have a new cocktail video on Fridays.
Because we talked about that one. She got 49. Sadly, one of the chips we were filming on, the camera that our patrons, thank you very much, helped purchase last summer, is having some issues. So we're
just going to sit here quietly and not talk about it because it might hear us.
Yeah, it might hear us because I'm like, So Darian knows about the heart attack I had when that chip got weird. But there was 115 videos on there because we were traveling while we were filming, and then we were gone, so I couldn't back them up yet. So it was but I got 113 of the 115 off. So we'll just have to make 2 drinks again, two gin drinks we lost. So I was glad we got those.
Nick Peterson says he prefers the neck gaiters, and you know what? They're kind of it's like having a turtleneck with nothing else. I got one when we were in the cloud forest in Ecuador, and I really like that too. The one
But you couldn't fly with that. You would lose your mind.
It's really loose here. You just pull it up over. It's not tight at all. Actually, I feel like that would be less, this than some of the masks I've worn. I mean, I've got a couple masks that I'm like, I can't stand. They make me kind of claustrophobic and stuff. But
So, Frost Element, hi. How does your dog react to firework noise? Our pet was shaking late at night. Brig didn't care.
Fine.
He didn't care. Thunder never bothered him. Now our old dog, when there would be a storm, when he got older,
he got afraid.
He had really bad arthritis,
and he had dementia.
He would jump into the bathtub,
and he would cower. And I remember finding Caleb. He was like 5, and Caleb's in there, and he'd found the dog in there, and I don't know what had set him off, but Caleb got in there with pillows and blankets, and he was like, I've got pictures of the two of them cuddling together in the bathtub. My God, that was the most. It was awesome. Q was also he was the dog I had before I had husbands or children's or anything. Like it was just me and the dog, and so Q was around when Caleb was really little, and Caleb told me one day that his first sentence was, Q, he's my best friend, and I just like. It's his first sentence, and I bawled my eyes out, and it was pretty amazing. So,
Lee Bridges adds the coach of salt and black pepper.
Yeah, he's. I like the updates. It's pretty cool. Trini says, "Hi, Jocelyn. Why do you think a lot of female travel bloggers become vegan? Have you ever thought about becoming vegan?" No, I like meat.
That is true. You're right. There actually are a lot of vegan and vegetarian female travel bloggers. Maybe not all, but there's enough that you notice
that you do notice it. So,
but like Sammy and Audrey, or like she's like they're eating all kinds of stuff. So
part of I want to restrict my diet as little as possible when I'm traveling, simply because I want to experience that. Food is such a cultural thing, and although everywhere I've gone, if people don't, if you can't eat something or whatever, they're always very kind and accommodating. But I want to be there in the midst of it. I can't tell you how many people I've cooked with, and they're like, old grandmas are shoving spoonfuls of stuff in your face. And I don't ever, if I can help it, I don't want to have to ever say no by choice. And I understand why people do it. And some people are doing it for like really legitimate health reasons or whatever, but I try not to limit myself. So,
Lee's got the wine in there now.
Dry white wine. I was actually just cleaning out my stuff, and I have half a bottle of sherry I need to put into a different container.
Ooh, what was that? What was the fish stew you made?
Bouillabaisse.
Bouillabaisse. That's
good. Bouillabaisse is one of my favorites.
You should make a video on bouillabaisse.
That's already on my list.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. So, Eric B is saying kids and adults are blocking the street until about 1 in the morning.
Shoot! 1 a.m. Oh, man, that's tiring.
Ours were going off till at least
I don't
12.
know. I went to sleep, and that doesn't even bother me. That doesn't keep me awake at all. So,
So let's see. Thomas Reiser booked his trip to Alaska and got the second guessing brigade. Drive me crazy for mid-August. You got to do what's right for you, man. Don't worry.
You'll figure it out. Hang on. Scorpio Sue said that she's been binging on travel videos, and Krakow, Bucharest, and Athens are on the ever-growing list. That list never stops growing. When it does, will be a very sad day.
Yeah.
I don't think mine will ever stop. Speaking of dogs,
Brig's here.
Brig just walked right under me, and okay. Jeez.
He just loves me. He just wants to be with me.
Dad. Oh, we're having a little thing in our house right now too. Caleb really wants a bearded dragon, and I'm totally behind it, and Mark is totally not behind it.
Look at this doggy. He's so pretty and wonderful. I would not want to have to spend time dealing with a dragon. They fly. They shoot flames.
I'm great with flying animals. Anywho, all right, so...
K&P says, have y'all ever been to Nauvoo, Illinois? It's my favorite place. Yes, I have, many times. When I was in grade school, at the end of the year, that's where we would take our end of the year trip, and you'd go and learn. They'd make the wax candles and stuff like that, and you get to make your own. And hi, Brig. Got to cover your mouth and yawn, buddy. And actually, when I was a kid, we used to go to the Hotel Nauvoo in Nauvoo, and they had the best cinnamon rolls.
They're famous all over the tri-state area.
Go climb. Go.
Brig.
His breath smells like he ate some bouillabaisse. That's all I'm going to say.
He's got that salmon dog food, and it stinks. Like, I don't want to buy him that anymore.
No, please. Because he loves me so much, but it's... You smell like...
Lauren, we're not going to do lives here every Sunday.
Climb.
We're
climb.
We're probably just going to do like 1 or 2 lives a month at this point. We'll see if people start having to quarantine again, then we'll do them more often. Bring it here.
Climb.
Buddy.
He's
really needy right now. You're only needy when we're on this, aren't you? Is that
I think it's because he had Caleb.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we had our house sitter here while we were in Savannah, and he takes him out on like 4 WALKs a day. And he takes him out to kick the BALL like 30 times a day.
He's a college basketball player, and he wants to keep it, so he'll go running as well. So
you gotta be careful about the things you say.
Yeah, Gio gets him going. So there was another one on here. Where'd it go? Oh, darn it. Yes, he's already got his ball.
Scorpio Sue, I'll love the cocktail videos. So the cocktail videos I did with my friend Sandra. Sandra was
He brought the ball for me.
Sandra is one of my dearest friends, and she loves to make interesting cocktails. It's like there will be a lot that you know, but then she loves the history of different kinds of cocktails and things like that. So we kind of did that together, and I sort of let her take the lead on a lot of it because she had some really interesting, cool, historic things, and we had a great time. We also did a video on barware, like basic barware you should have, what kind of drinks go in what kind of glasses. And then we did one on like basic tools and like how to sort of build a bar if you're interested in, having different types of glasses and whatever, kind of where you can start to do things. So anyway, yeah.
So Vagabonding went to the Capuchin Encrypted Rum, got the t-shirt. So cool. Love the Bone Church in Cunahara. That is pretty cool. Chapel Bones in Evora, also very cool.
Evora,
We've been that one a lot. We used to, when we would have guests when we lived in Lisbon, we'd actually do day trips to Evora quite a few times, and that was one of the things because people like when our friends from the U.S. or Canada would come and they'd be like, "What the?" I'm like, "Oh, you want to see something different?
Here you go.
There you go."
Evora,
and we go and have
the one down south on the coast.
Well, there's a small one
that one
in
was kind
Faro.
of cool though. Faro,
yeah.
That's it. That was cool too.
Henry Martinez, I'm not sure what camera I want to get. Jocelyn sent me some stuff. We're looking it up now because I want to have one that I can. Because the Sony's you couldn't plug in the mics, so I got some lavalier mics and stuff, so we can do some more things. And I just found out last week that all my classes in the fall will be online, and I will not have any space on campus to film anything. So I will be filming some stuff here at home. So I want to, and since it's in the house, you get that echo sound. I want to make sure I can fix that. So trying to figure out something I can get some good sound and figure out.
Well, we did buy those.
Yeah, we have this. We got the dampeners, and so
I'm not really excited about putting dampeners on my walls.
I know that's the thing I'm worried about. So we got to figure that out.
I think that if we use really long pins and stick them in,
yeah.
then I won't.
And the thing is, they say that you just need to put it has to be at my height. So it's at my height, so it's on the
all the way around.
Opposite. Yeah, and that really will help.
Good.
So
we
got some.
Stink.
He's just
Climb.
He's just standing there like this.
He's like right here, exactly off camera, and he's like so gross. Mark says his neck is too big for neck gaiters, and he feels like he's being choked by a very weak pair of hands. I'll make you a neck gaiter. We'll make you give me your neck size, your shirt size, and I'll make you one. And, and Nick's cat hissed as fireworks.
Nice. Mr. Blonde, hey, it says, what's your favorite theme park? So for me, it's Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, because I went there every summer as a kid. So as much as we travel and see the world and stuff, yeah, we didn't do that when I was a kid. My parents both traveled a lot for work, but we didn't travel a lot. We didn't travel for vacation. We just went to my grandpa's in Ohio.
My favorite in the States is probably Kennywood in Pittsburgh. And my favorite outside in the U.S. is probably, Gardaland in Italy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And if not Gardaland, simply because kids can ride every single ride. I feel like what's the one in Isla Magica?
Isla Magica was nice.
In
Hansa
Sevilla.
Park I've been to Hansa Park. I like that. Euro Park in Germany's nice.
Carnivores rule. Hi Babs. Hi Reggie.
Hey Reggie man.
Nice to see y'all before bedtime.
Brown bed said,
please
get the updates.
Again. That's about the truth.
So I think one of these says
got the brown bits up. Good job, Lee. That's important.
Orange zest is in. My goodness, on a roll. So I think in the fall when things like, because we have to figure out with our kids, because we still don't know what the kids' schools are going to do. There's a lot of different options they have, so we have to figure out what the kids' schools are. So and then when the semester starts for me, I have a ton of stuff because I teach online, but also I'm the academic director, so I have to I'll be having live feeds for my students to have games and stuff so they can still have some kind of connection. So I'm hoping we can figure out some stuff when we do the fall. Then maybe we can have a Simply Jocelyn, we can set it up in the kitchen and she can make a drink and a snack for us in the video. Live! It'll be like,
from New York, it's Saturday night. What is going on? Oh, hey. It's just Caleb. I thought someone was just walking into my house. That was fun.
Yes, Nick, I can't imagine life without bacon either.
Emily said that she stopped being a vegetarian after 8 years when she went to Europe for the first time. Listen, if you're going to do it, that's when you do it, right? Yeah, there are just certain things that, I could go without meat, but I don't want to go without meat. How about that?
Reggie and her man, hey, hoping to do overnight in Reykjavik next year. Any favorite things not to miss when you're there? If you're only there for an overnight, go to the Blue Lagoon. They actually have, their website is so good. 5 years ago when we were there, I made a video about their website, how helpful it is to help you sign up, get transport. Even if you were just flying in for a few hours to Reykjavik, they could get you there. It was awesome. Just, that's the one thing you got to do. Right there. That's it. That's the thing. Yeah.
Lee's seafood stew is at a simmer right now.
15-20 minutes to blend flavor.
Oh, Babs canceled her trip to Florida. I'm sorry.
Babs.
That just kind of sucks, doesn't it? But you know what? Right now, I wouldn't be going there.
Yeah, it was when we went down to Georgia. It was interesting. So we vlogged on our way down there, and I'm putting together the videos now. I don't know if that Wednesday or Saturday's video, probably because we also did the foods of the road trip, so I have that done. But it was interesting to see less and less masks, but it was people all over each other when we were down there, and even Liam was like, "Why are they all so close? They're not family." I'm like, I don't know. So it was.
But part of why we went to where we went, we stayed on Tybee, and part of why is because I could get a standalone house on the back river. Very few tourists, if any, know the back river.
Yeah, and
locals don't go to the back river.
Where we were, it was us, and then I'm not even. It was at least 20 feet
to the
next family of 2 people or maybe 2 people and their kids,
And that was kind of how it was all the way along the
back I think someone was 50, 60 feet between them. There was nobody. But I know on the other side, it was
well, we didn't go to the other side.
One morning I did go. And I
you walked over to Christie's department store.
Yeah, and that was at 10 o'clock in the 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning. And people were social distancing relatively well there. Mm-hmm. But it was weird because it was 2 lines and everyone. So I was like, okay, they were doing that. But
that's good.
But they were not doing that in the city or the parking lot or anything like that. So it's
the city of Tybee.
Tybee, yeah.
Downtown Savannah is very good. They are on lockdown. Mayor Johnson is doing a heck of a job. Being you guys, you wear your mask. That's pretty much it.
And I think a couple days ago they have now there's a $500 fine if you don't wear a mask. But the cops will say, hey, you need to wear a mask. We have masks for you. Have a mask. And then you still say no. They're like, look, we're gonna have to fine you $500. Take the mask. So it's they have a $500 fine. So it's not it's look, you're just being obstinate and just hey, let's see. I don't know who's Mr. Blonde. Is he famous?
Hang on. Vagabani said, just did Chef John bacon wrap double dog recipe on the barbecue. Sorry, vegans. That's
why you can't go vegan. Just for that. I never had that, but I want to have that. Inside Lauren's brain. Lawrence wants to know, what's your opinion on disaster tourism? So there's if you look at the disaster tourism, I look at it in a few different ways. There's different kinds. There's the going to Chernobyl. There's the going to that one which got popular the last couple of years. I lived in Lithuania. I've been to Belarus. I've met people that were affected by the Chernobyl incident. And I'm like, that's not a cool place to go. I mean, you may feel, oh, well, you can go there for this while. I'm like, maybe not a good idea. I'm not really big on that. But what I like to look at is what we call, I would say, post-disaster tourism. When those places are trying to come back from a disaster, I think that's something that you can really help people out. Because that's why, we've gone a few places where it's like, look, let's go and show it's okay to go back, or it's okay to go there and try to do that. And then your money really matters. But you have to do your research to make sure, are the hotels open? Is there stuff there? Are you going to be more of a hindrance than a help? Like, I was supposed to go to York earlier this year, but they were having flooding, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to go when there's flooding going on, because they need to be focusing on their town and that, and I don't want to put like a stupid tourist going around and not knowing where the flooding might be. So,
and Mark Finley asked if Brig has any allergies. So when he was young, he was pooping Frosties basically, and so one of our friends said, just take him off grains, and so his food is grain free, but like he eats rice. I give him rice and chicken if he has an upset stomach or something, but I don't know. I mean, his treats have gluten or have grain in them, so I don't really know. I just kind of, he's good the way he is. I'm not playing with it, and I never got him tested, so he's good.
Let's see. Oh, so Jeremy Sides, the masks we bought from Wolters World were amazing. Just had a chance to use them 3 days straight of the results. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Henry Martinez, Mark and Jocelyn, have you ever explored Myrtle's plantation? Okay.
I don't know that plantation.
Is it also true that a lot of places in Savannah are haunted? Yes. It's the most haunted city in America. Actually, I had my video to make, but I could not get the lighting to work, so I will be making that at a different place for the most haunted cities in America. But yeah, Savannah always ranks up really high, and there's all kinds of places. And Jocelyn worked at one of the most haunted places in Savannah.
I did. The Pirate's House is incredibly haunted, and there were nights when I'd have to turn off all the lights, and part of the building, the non-historic part, has been torn down, but we used to have all these tiny little like private dining rooms with, like, some of them sat like 20, but most of them were like 6 to 10 people, kind of little. They were nice rooms, but at night I had 76 lights to turn off, and I would fly through there, just run, and there was like 2 rooms that were really scary, and things would fall a lot. Like, you would set a tray jack down, you put a tray on it, it's completely level, everything's fine, and all of a sudden just a plate would come off of it. Like, just boom, fall on the floor. I mean, I don't know. It's creepy. And if you don't believe in ghosts, go work at Pirate's House for about 6 or 8 months. You might change your mind.
And this is funny because, like,
a lot of people feel that way.
Savannah's is always, not always, but it's in a lot of those like ghost hunter shows and stuff like that because of all the things. And where was it? Someone had been watching a lot of cooking shows based in Turkish cooking show. Chris Frank. I started watching a cooking video based out of Turkey. Now I want to go to Istanbul. My sister's I lost it. No, that's the thing. It's amazing how there'll be certain things that get you interested in going someplace. It's not always you watch a travel video to go there. It could be there's a TV show like that looks really cool. Like, I lived in Berlin and I loved living in Berlin. But I remember watching one of the Jason Bourne movies, and it was in Berlin. I'm like, oh, Berlin really is a cool city. Like, it inspired me to want to go back to Berlin. But it was an action movie. And so it is kind of interesting how there's like other places that are on there that can kind of inspire your travel. So that's cool. Trini, I have not seen Hamilton. Have you?
Haven't seen it.
But I used to be in musical theater back in the day, so I want to check it out. We never went because like the tickets were like bajillions of dollars. But now we have Disney Plus. We can watch it there.
Chris Frank says he would like to learn more about the differences of liquor decanters. I want decanters. Do you know how freaking expensive they are? Like, even now, if they've made this huge comeback, because I remember seeing them and I just never bought them. I was focusing on other things at like at vintage shops and things like that, whatever, flea markets. Or I found really cool ones and I couldn't transport them home because they were lead crystal and I couldn't bring them in, whatever, right? So anyway, these beautiful, amazing things are now making this huge comeback, and they're really expensive. Even like the old used ones that aren't even amazing are still amazingly expensive. So that is something I would like to do. I just don't have the decanters to be able to to do it, and I feel like that would be kind of a terrible video if I didn't actually have some of the decanters at least.
So Mark Finley is nice to mention. Please give Simply Jocelyn a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. I know there's some of you over here from Wolters World, so we'd appreciate it if you could. If you don't want to subscribe, help her channel get going so we can get her taken off and then hopefully get seen more. And then when her videos start coming out more and more, so we got all kinds of stuff for her coming out. So cool.
Traveling the world. Recommended 2-week road trip in the U.S. Any region.
Okay, so one, I would do the New England one. So you got the coast of Maine, which is gorgeous, going into New Hampshire and Vermont. You could kind of like loop it in and then finish in Boston and fly out from there. Like you fly into Boston, go up into Maine, go through New Hampshire, Vermont, come back down around into Connecticut and Massachusetts. That's a good one. If you're going to do the Southeast, you could fly into Atlanta and go to Charleston, Savannah, St. Augustine, and then you could go down to like Miami, or you can go the other way. And you go across and get like south of
Selma,
Alabama,
Birmingham,
and Alabama, and you could go over to
Nashville and back around.
There's that Nashville. You could go that way, or you could go to New Orleans, and then go up from New Orleans, go to Natchez, Mississippi, and then you can come like Memphis, then over to Nashville and go around that way. That would be a cool southern trip. That's actually a good one. We should do that. We do part of that all the time. We need to do like that. That was one of the things we thought about. We're looking at doing this summer, and then when like stuff started popping up again, that's why
we just went to a house where we could be away from humans. Yeah,
so that was one of those things. Another one, if you did like Seattle, and there's going from Seattle to San Francisco is kind of like that's a long drive, but it's still there's a lot of stuff on the way. It's not just Portland. It's doable. You got a lot of great national parks and stuff like that, and it's crazy because like you're like Oregon, you realize there's a desert in Oregon. You know, it's like what, and you're like yeah. So it's really
also banana slugs.
Yes, there are banana slugs. We still need to get there.
Yeah, we need to go see that.
Let's see.
All right, so
Sarah Phillips. I didn't even know about this channel. Hey, I followed Wolters World for years though. We do need to get once we have more of our videos ready to come uploaded, and we can.
I want to have a good number of videos on this channel before I go. Hey, guess what?
I think we're at like 14 with 2 live feeds.
Yeah, I'd like to have 20, 25, and I'd like to have
a nice, well-rounded.
Some varied things. I have a lot of food stuff. But I'd like to get some drink stuff in there. And I wouldn't mind getting a couple packing videos in there just to have a couple other things, for like a well-rounded sort of.
Yeah, because then we can make our introduction video, like her channel trailer and something like that. And then we can put it on to Wolters World to help people know about that going forward. So
Thomas says that masks give him panic attacks in short order. I'm getting better at that. I haven't gotten like a full-on one, but I will get to this point where I'm like, can't breathe. It's just too much. Hey, Kristen.
What's up,
nice
buddy?
To see you, dear.
Oh, Michael Mon's off to bed. Night, buddy.
Hi, Michael.
Scorpio Sue's her boss is getting everyone neck gaiters.
That's nice. Ooh.
Well, taste and smell it, buddy. John Solik, one last question. I hope you're still on there before I log off. Is 1 full day of sightseeing in Brussels and 2 full days in Bruce sufficient to see all the must-dos? We want to explore other cities. Yeah, you could.
One day in Brussels is more than enough.
Yeah, I mean, for all the main stuff, yes, you could do that and then do a lot of other stuff. So you have a lot of free time. So that's good. Whoa, Thomas Rice, my old workplace was a funeral home at one time. And I think it was haunted.
That's cool.
Yikes. Allison Radel says, cute channel, Jocelyn.
Hey, Allison, nice to see you. Okay.
So Lori Sim's son is trying to convince her to go to Bali when it opens in September. It's if it opens in September. That's the key thing. That's what's really putting us off of booking any future trips right now, because it's the if. Like we have all the. People that are supposed to go travel this summer. Everyone has the credit, right? And so it's like I could use the credit, but one thing I learned, if you get to switch it once for free. You got to switch it again. You got to pay for the switch. Well, by then they know it's too Frustrated right now because I don't want to drop $1,000 in change fees. So
we don't want to do that. Vagabani says, if you haven't been to Savannah during Halloween, it's a treat, especially for dogs. They trick or treat too, which is true. Dogs are very welcome in Savannah. So if you want to travel with a pet, there are a lot of pet-friendly hotels and restaurants and bars and all sorts of stuff. There's always doggy water bowls out and whatnot all over town, and it's pretty nice.
So Nick Peterson is excited for his ghost tour of Gettysburg. It's some of Savannah with being very haunted. It is. It's actually on my list of most haunted places to visit in America. It was New Orleans was also on there. What else do I have? Portland. There's Chicago's got some good stuff. Yeah, and the thing is, like London. Someone said they went on the London one, which was nice. You want to see if somebody's okay? Liam, are you okay?
Hey.
Caleb, check on your brother.
Okay.
Anyway,
Liam's playing video games with Anthony, I think.
No, Anthony had to go.
Oh, okay.
So, is he okay, Caleb?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, buddy. No, but yeah, there's a lot of cool haunted places. But the ghost tours can be fun, especially if you got like teenagers that want to do something that's more than just like.
We went to Jamaica. That scared the living out of me.
That was scary.
That was evil.
That was too scary for Liam. That was like
Liam had to leave, but there were parts of it, and I was like, "This place has got some bad juju."
Yeah, you could tell that it was.
The woman that owned the house that the stuff was all about.
Not a good person.
Dude, she was an evil human being.
Yeah, and they because they have like the normal tours, but the night one, like they have like the ghost that pops up, and it's just
it was cool, some of it, but it was. There were parts of that place that I was like.
Yeah, I wasn't too upset that Liam needed to leave, and we walked out. So.
Yeah, I could.
But it was pretty cool. But there's some of the night tours can be fun. Like if you're in Rothenburg or Betauba in Germany, their evening tour with like the Watchmen. Like I like the Watchmen tours that go around. Those are nice to do. I like those kind of tours better than I like the free walking tours. Because the free walking tours, just buy the Rick Steve book or the Moon Guide. That they're just reciting from there. But when you have the people that are a little bit more trained and you're paying for it, it makes a huge difference. Like I don't know if Rob's still on here, but like Rob from TripHacks DC, he actually does tours in DC, and having him do it, it's here. Like you're not getting like, oh, I can only answer superficial stuff. No. A real guy goes really, really deep, knows a lot more information, and that's why I really enjoyed our tour with Rob. It's like
he was excellent. Excellent guide, really good. We had fun too. He's funny. We just enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. So let me see. Kim says, simply Jocelyn, I've picked up so many tips. Just did Greek dinner for my family, and no one had to pre-eat. Clean plates. That's awesome. There's always clean plates in Greek families too. Yeah. That's awesome.
Sorry, animal lover, if the sound's not coming in. My bad.
Oh.
Where do we go?
So I don't know. There was
just really big jump. See, Jocelyn, you're getting so big now that you're getting the jumps as well. Yeah. Giant rodents! You said saw dozens of ghosts and rodents in Orlando. I think those are just lots of rats. Yuck. Oh, Scorpio, so you liked the Jack the Ripper one that night. The creepier, the better. Yeah, that was that. I did something like that. The first time I went to London was like in 2000, and I did one of those tours with my buddy. It was pretty cool.
Mr. Blunt said, have checked out the Geography Now poop scale for travel.
Geography Now is a channel that does all kinds of.
But what's poop scale for a channel?
Probably how much poop there is, or how you can poop, or how they do.
Or
poop.
how terrible it is.
Or how
right now,
from whole toilets to Japanese toilets. So it could be like that. I'd look at that. Oh, Chris, yeah, the California mission tour is nice.
That would be really cool to do the whole thing.
If you want to see some missions and just be in one city, San Antonio missions. The Alamo is technically one of the missions, but it's not. It's part of the system, sort of. But there's all kinds of missions right outside of San Antonio that are really cool to visit. So definitely do that. Sarah Sub says you're the master at packing, Jocelyn.
Well, thank you. I do love to pack. I actually really enjoy it. I'm such a weirdo. Mark Finley says, how long until you get monetized and start taking super chats?
So Jocelyn
I'm almost there on subscribers. You have to have 1,000 subscribers.
1,000 subscribers.
8 something.
Mm-hmm. And you need 4,000 hours of watch time. Right now, she's at like 800 hours of watch time. So
I'm like at 50. 3,000 minutes or something like that. I don't know, whatever it is.
You're good there. I would imagine, like, we're hoping to get her channel monetized by the end of the year. How things, like, how when you look at it, 'cause it takes time to grow a channel, even though, like, for example, I can promote her, I can promote other people's channels. It doesn't really do much because people, if people aren't watching food videos and I suggest a food video, it doesn't matter if Wolters will suggest it, it will not show up on their thing. Right. So that's one of those things there. So hopefully, like, I think once you have more videos out there, once you had like the 25, 35 videos of different stuff, then it's going to be easier for it to grow because, like, for example, for watch time, Simply Jocelyn had more watch time last month than Professor Wolters did. Now I had 4,000 more views, but my videos are 5 to 8 minutes long, and yours are 15 minutes long.
I had some that were stupid long that shouldn't have been that long. I have to learn to shut the heck up. I have to be like, Mark, shut up, Mark. So if anyone out there is having a cocktail, y'all need to drink right now. Yes. But yeah, I'm not. I'm too wordy.
Yeah, Sue loved your cheese plate. Yeah, that cheese, the charcuterie stuff.
Hi, Colleen.
And bye, John, too.
See you.
And the cheese, like the charcuterie plate thing. That's a go-to anytime we have people over. It's all the time.
And that was so great with her and Jocelyn to go get their good cheap cheese because they do have good cheap cheese. Actually, so we have a couple of grocery stores here in town that I think because we have such an international population, we have some things that most regular grocery stores don't have. But we also have a couple, like we have 3 shops that I would go to for those kind of things in town if I wanted to get something fancy. But generally speaking, I don't need to spend that much money because there's good enough stuff at my grocery store that I don't have to go get the fancy stuff. Lee Bridges, prior to adding the seafood in with a handful of fresh green beans, non-traditional, but they're in season and my husband loves them. So hang on, green beans and seafood. That confuses me. I would have just thrown them on the side and made them like as an extra thing. Like, here, you must eat vegetables. That's funny. Tien Mehta. Thank you for your wishes. I appreciate that. So, and I did say hi, Colleen. I don't know if you heard that, Darian, but tell her I said hello.
Yes, and say hi to Grace and
Billy,
Mr. Billy.
And Bubbles. We did on our way home. We got to stop by Darian's for a few minutes, which was really cool. And
yeah, super nice. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, it was very cool to be able to spend some time with
nice him. Social distance time with Bubs.
Yeah.
So I like this traveling with the world. I don't have flight credit. I squeeze money out of the airlines. Good.
Yeah.
Because we did that on our big Europe. Well, with all 4 of us booked together, I got the cash back for that because it was just too much money. But then I had a bunch of smaller ones that I've been canceling. I forgot already. I had to. It's weird. Like, oh, that one got canceled too. You get the reminder. I forgot to even book the ticket for LA for that one conference.
Oh yeah.
Got that in there too. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hi, Donald.
6 trips.
Hushy 77. Do you think I'll be able to go to Peru in May 2020? Oh, dagnabbit.
May 2021? Yeah, I would think so.
Jump. Yeah, I think I would cross my fingers that those things are sort of able to happen. Hi, Bia. It's nice to see you. The Alcatraz evening tour. Chris Frank did that.
Oh,
that sounds pretty cool.
So Henry doesn't have to go anywhere. Have you guys heard the Bridgewater Triangle? I have not. It's allegedly home to UFO sightings, animal mutilation, goose, or Bigfoot sighting, of poltergeist. And Henry Martinez is there too? Oh, it's 30 miles south of Boston. Oh, okay. I thought that was where you were. You're over in California. Yeah. No, I have not. That makes more sense over there. I'll have to check that one out. We go there usually once a year.
Look at how many of y'all have used Rob. Sarah Phillips, Mark Finley, Thomas Reiser. Although Thomas went with one of Rob's coworkers. Well, he's got like one guy that does stuff with him. And we haven't taken a tour with that guy. But I do know that Rob is discerning. And he wouldn't have somebody in there that wasn't amazing. Right? Yeah.
So traveling the world, geography now is nice to get a little background of your country visit. Yeah, and we have one day I'll actually start putting those videos out of our facts videos for fun facts, different countries we go to. We've been filming those for like 7 years now, and I have not put any of them out. So
hi,
Jimmy, UK
Jimmy
buddy,
and trophy is.
Say hi to Mom.
So welcome back, folks. Hope you had a great holiday. Definitely do India, once in a lifetime experience. We did 3 weeks there. The food, my God, the food.
Yes.
Cheers, having blast as always. So we have 2 different families to visit in India, and we were kind of getting to a place where we thought we could manage it with the kids' schedule, and
yeah, because we were looking at possible 2022, or is
I think it was 2021.
2021, 20. Oh yeah, that's right. Because originally it was going to be this summer was a big Europe thing, and then this winter was Australia, New Zealand.
The middle.
And we had Israel and Ethiopia. Yeah, we had all kinds. Yeah, so there was that.
And back to Turkey on our way back in.
Yeah, and then winter,
weird.
and then the fall was Germany and France and the British Isles and Caribbean. Oh no, it's supposed to be Colombia, and then we were going to go to New Zealand, Australia for Christmas and New Year's, and then next year was like, hey, we've seen now let's go crazy, because 2021 is going to be a crazy year for like new stuff, but all the stuff we were going to see this year, it's been like moved back because
who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, so we don't know.
But we're gonna go somewhere.
Yes, but India's on the list. I got one of my favorite students ever, because we got 2 families visiting, then we got Dewey. You didn't go on that trip. My parents went on the trip. And,
no, but Dewey and I are Facebook friends.
Yeah, and Dewey was one of my favorite students. And he still writes to say hi to my parents and stuff, and on Facebook and things. So he's doing his PhD somewhere right now. So yeah.
Sarah Phillips, thank you for offering to binge watch Simply Jocelyn videos. I really appreciate that. And Thomas says he's watched them all too. Thank you, guys.
So Bia says, no, I like when you're talkative in videos, Jocelyn. Feels like we're hanging out. And I think that's what works well, because there's so many videos that just like, I mean, you could do this. You could have where you have the long talk one, and then you could have like the quicko version of it where it's just like throwing stuff in, and there's the thing that people like to watch.
Like the Facebook edit one?
Yeah, the
Facebook
edit
ones are like 3 to 5 minutes. They like to do that.
Or you do the Instagram one that's like, a minute, 30 seconds, something like that. We'll figure it out. Hey, Lee Bridges, we've got Chipino pulling the place settings in sourdough bread. Oh, you're killing me, Lee. You're killing me.
Good. Mark Finley said Duke's put up a recipe for pimento cheese on their Facebook page that was very weird. I left a comment with a link to your video. Oh my gosh, we should link that video, my love letter to Duke's.
Yeah, no kidding.
My friend Sandra, her husband Charlie actually knows the family that owns Duke's. And I don't know
hey,
their name. I can't remember, but he's known them since he was a child, because he grew up there.
Oh, okay. So Travis Eric B, does live stream help watch time? Yes, it does. Watch stream does help. It counts it, because every minute of anything watched does count towards that watch time goal. And since all of our stuff's together, it's interesting, because when you get your first channel monetized, it can take, I mean, it depends where you're at. If you're in the U.S., like Eric, you're in the U.S., it will take up to a month to, well, that was before COVID when people were checking more, about a month to get monetized. Like you hit the goal, you send your application, can I do it? And then like after a month, like you find out. But with your second channel, we actually have a video on that on Professor Wolters. When I did it for Professor Wolters, when we got that, since we already had like been like verified or whatever, because we have another channel, then it was like 2 days or 1 day.
It was like
I'd put it in 1 day.
Hours,
yeah,
I mean,
it was there. So
short.
So I think for her channel, once we get there, it should be relatively quick.
Do it pretty quickly. Cross your fingers.
Yeah, and I won't lie. That's one of the reasons why we're doing some of the live streams on here. One, to get people to know about her channel and find it that way. Also to help get her numbers up. Because, I mean, I know YouTube doesn't say, well, if you're monetized, we show your videos more. But I have to imagine they want more ads being shown. So if you got ads on your videos, they're more likely.
I mean, that's just good business sense.
Yeah, so I don't hold it against them. But, I mean, it's one of those things. You got to know how the game's played. And so we're just trying to help Jocelyn out. Ooh. Sherry Lynn Powers, what is your favorite go-to dinner that's easy and fast?
Well, one of them, especially if I'm feeding a crowd, more than just my family, even just my family, is that frango do avó, grandma's Portuguese chicken.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of them. Tonight, sometimes I use not homemade meatballs tonight, but I often make a batch of meatballs and I freeze them.
She'd make a video on those, because those are
I make good meatballs. They're similar to Alton Brown's I found, but they're because I learned how to cook them from him, but I use different sort of ingredients, or at least some different than he does. But
It's all about putting that
well,
cooking.
it is. He said you make your meatballs, and I like big meatballs, not like little ones. I like the big meaty meatballs, right? And he said to cook them in a mini muffin tin, so the fat drains down, and they're not. Oh my gosh! And that made all the difference in the
Because you
world.
get that crispy outside, so nice.
It is so good. So meatballs are a really fast one. My other one is mama noodles.
That's the one the kids always ask for.
So I got to do a video on mama noodles. It's basically you eat it's ramen noodles, but without the packet, and then I put other stuff in it to make it tasty. So,
Mr. Blonde, you tell your students you have favorites. They don't find out about that till after I leave. See, I found this out. This summer I taught a social media marketing course, and it was the first time I taught an elective course. So everything I teach is required. And I forgot the difference of students' perception of a class. It was something they have to take versus something they want to take. And I mean, all the students were like, "This is great. I love the class. I learned so much." I'm like, "My God, have I been failing at my other classes?" I'm like, no, it's just required class. Non-required class is so much nicer. So, but I have lots of favorite students, so it's not a big deal. We've gone to some weddings, invited to more weddings, all kinds of good stuff. So there's that. Vince was saying something. Vince was saying started following your channel. Sorry, Jocelyn, completely forgot last time. So thanks, Vince.
I told him that. You just didn't hear me because you were talking because you never shut up, Mark. Drink. Lee says, scorecard, it worked. Chowing down on emergency seafood stew. Perfect blend of savory, salty, acid, olive oil, sweet citrus and fennel, sourdough bread to sop up the juices. Oh, yeah. That sounds really good.
Killing me. You're killing me.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
See, Thomas Raz has got premium snow ads. It's okay.
No.
We get so YouTube will show you how much money, like they'll break down the money that you get by like normal ads, and then it's like YouTube premium stuff. So for your $17 a month or whatever it is, Tom, we get like a penny. So thank you.
Mr. Blonde says, what's your favorite country song? Also, do you like Merle Haggard? I don't really listen to Merle Haggard. As for favorite country songs, that's hard.
There's a lot of them. You like it, you and me going fishing.
Nitty Gritty Dirt.
But you like to do the dance with it.
I do. Well,
so
I made
that's
the
where
dance when I was a child to that song. I also, strangely enough, like Garth Brooks' version of it too, which it's different, but I like it also.
See, I didn't listen to country music until I started dating her. So there's like this window of like late 2000, early 2010. When we were doing a lot of driving back and forth to Georgia when we come home. So like all the country music I have is from probably 2007 till 2011.
Yeah, 11, 12.
11.
That's about it. Okay.
And then it kind of disappeared.
I like some unusual, like the Cadillac 3. They're one of my favorites, just that people don't really know, but they're kind of more... They're on the country scene, but really, in my opinion, they're more Southern rock.
Yeah, I guess we do listen to Southern rock. Yeah, Southern rock will do.
Southern rock is probably my bigger thing. So, although I do love country music, I like all the music, except Zydeco.
Yeah, Zydeco.
I like all the other music.
No go for Zydeco here.
Yeah.
So Trini asked, do you think some governments, would you rather have time travel or teleportation? Do you think governors have the time? I don't think they have the technology. I think... between time travel and teleportation, I have a feeling that teleportation will be the first one that we invent. So there's that.
A friend of mine was over here today for a minute, social distancing, and she posed an interesting question. She said, if you could have any power, what would it be? And I said, gosh, I don't know. What would yours be? And hers was brilliant. She said, I'd like to be able to speak every language so I can just communicate with anyone and everyone. I'm like, yeah, you're smarter than me because I was thinking.
I like that.
I was thinking teleportation because then I don't have to fly to somewhere. I can just be there, and that would be kind of awesome.
So I'm also with Mr. Blonde. I love all music. If it's good, yeah, if it's got a good beat, I'll listen to anything. We'll go except Zydeco. Rap, country, rock, pop.
I love orchestral music too. Give me some Tchaikovsky any day. I'm not a huge fan of opera. I don't know why. I just never really got into opera, but
I was in chorus and choir
Whiskey River,
all
that's
throughout
good.
grade school and high school and stuff, and musical theater and stuff. So I liked opera. I like musicals and stuff. And occasionally I'll get into like a musical binge, like, but I'll go like back to like Andrew Lloyd Webber days because when that was
Right.
really huge in the '80s and stuff. So I remember
Right.
like childhood and stuff.
You know, I've only ever been to like one opera though, maybe well two, and that was it. So maybe that's part of why we went to my dad's company sponsored the local symphony, so we went to the symphony all the time, and we had a really good active symphony, even though it was a pretty small town. And I loved it. You know, that was. But my dad particularly taught me like all the genres. Like he listened to everything and he kind of passed that down to me too.
See, when I was a kid, my parents never really listened to music. Like I remember we had an 8-track player that moved from when we moved when I was like 5. I remember the 8-track in the house we had before I was 5. That same 8-track came to our the new house. It's still the new house. We moved in '83, but we still call it the new house. Um, they've been there for what, almost 40 years, and it's still the new house. But they had the you know, like you'd run the speaker wire through the house. There's like outlets to put in the speakers and stuff, and they still just had that 8-track player with the same 8-track. And the thing is, the 8-track was Christmas music, and the 8-track player the track broke, so only played one set, which was like 5 songs. So at Christmas time, or maybe 6, there'd be the same 6 Christmas songs again and again and again.
Yeah.
So
hang on. Oh, Scorpio Sue said, so when you guys are able to travel again, will there be any videos on places you've eaten, etc.? So yes, when we're traveling, and it's hopefully normal-ish again, I want to do some, not only like food, like places that we eat. You know, we're not big on recommending places because they change and they go up and down, and I don't want to stick my name on something that might, you know, be terrible in 6 months. And my video's up there forever. So it would be again more about like the foods to eat and like what's good about it, what's unique about that place. But what I really want to do is cook with people. When we were in Savannah, I really wanted to see Miss Annie. She's my extra mom, and I want Miss Annie to help me make several things. But one of the things that I can't do, that I know she can do, is biscuits. And I really I can do biscuits, but
yeah, we go see Miss Annie. Like, this is the first time we haven't got, because Miss Annie's older, and
that's why we didn't go see her. She'd be in that category, and
the high risk. So
yeah,
but because we went to B&D Burgers with the last time, and then because
every time we go home, I try to take her to lunch or something. God,
you know how it is when you have your old friend, like you have your more mature friends, your older friends. Mm-hmm. Especially because she really helped you out when you first moved there?
That's why she's my mom.
Yeah, so she helped Jocelyn adjust to living in Savannah and get her through.
She taught me a lot of things culturally that I would not have learned otherwise, and she's just she's amazing. But I want to cook with people like my friend Nana. Nana and I have talked about the different things we want to make together. If we ever go back to Morocco, I think that Chef Ilham and I would do something together. She's just pretty cool like that. So,
hey Martinez, yes, we do like listening to live music. I have Mark Anthony, Shakira. See, I love Shakira. I remember Shakira did more like folk songs back in the late '90s. We used to learn her songs in my Spanish class here, and she was huge. I love Talia. From back in the day in Mexico, she's from Mexico. She has some really great songs. In Argentina had its own kind of Latin vibe music, which was really cool. Is some good stuff. Yeah. So, another thing with
I love what's her face.
Jennifer Lopez.
No.Ivete.
Oh, Ivete Sangalo, yeah, from Brazil. Yeah, yes. She's awesome.
She's
there's so much great music from Brazil. Oh, I love that.
Oh, but she could shake it with anybody, and I mean, she's amazing.
Awesome. So Nick D he travels in time approximately 24 hours a day. Nice, very nice. Yeah, the teleportation would be the thing for me. Just boom, right there.
He said every 4 years I travel an extra day. Smart Alex. Oh my goodness.
Oh, so Nick Peter said, if concerts are allowed, I'm supposed to see a group from Ireland on Black Friday. They do Irish folk opera style music. Love music with Irish melodies. Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts when we go to Ireland. Just going to the pubs and listen to the live music. And the thing is I mean, the last couple times we've gone to Ireland, we've gone on guys trips, so we can go. But one of the tough times is like when we took Caleb. We could you only let the kids in there until like 9 o'clock, so we only got to hear a little bit of it. It's so fun when I know that my Jocelyn is so close and I cannot be with her. So want to go and now that the kids are older, we can just leave them at the hotel. But I thought no, we wouldn't do that. But
we don't do that.
I know, but I'm like
we just don't. Well, we don't do that because we like to be together.
I know.
Bia says it's funny still hearing about social distancing since New Zealand has been back to normal for a while now. I live on the North Island, going to travel to South Island in a few months when we're out of winter. Bia, literally the entire rest of the world is green with envy. It would be so cool if we could all just pack it up and kill this virus by nobody leaving their house for
let's not even go there if we would have done this, in March. But whatever.
Anyway, I am happy for you. I'm stupid jealous, but I'm really happy for you. And having to think about social distancing. Like, I went into the pet store with Caleb this weekend.
That's kind no, they went to a grocery store in Quincy. He went in there. Is that the only store he's been in since?
We went to 2 pet stores this weekend, and both of them were flipping packed. Like, one of them, it's like a locally owned thing, and they've got like all these little rooms and whatever in this warehouse, and they're like the room that the dragons were in was really small, and there were 3 people in there, and I'm like, we stood in the bird room, so that we weren't in the same room with these people, just because everybody had a mask, but I mean the room was like 4 feet wide and like 10 feet long. I wasn't comfortable having 6 people. I probably wouldn't have been comfortable with that had there not been a virus. But social distancing is like such a part of life now. You have to think about it.
Yeah. Clarity, what are your favorite desserts in the world? There's a lot. But my favorite is French chocolate pie that my mom makes. Which I thought we were going to make last time we were there. But oh well, Mom.
I don't know. That's really hard for me.
Liam would say creme brulee.
I like creme brulee. I like tiramisu.
You can't beat a good chocolate mousse. I love that in Portugal.
Yeah, Portuguese chocolate mousse is special. Do cocktails count? I don't. I have to really think about that. I need to make a list like that. You always have these great questions, and you always make me think. So I have to think about that and get you that answer.
So Judy Horseman has a random question. Do I teach college credit plus classes so high school students can take your class for college credit? No, my classes are upper level classes. They're 300 and 400 level courses, so they're not available to them. But I do think those dual credit classes are really good to do for people because you can do AP classes and AP exams and do that. But I just think if you can go and take, like some high schools now will have it where the classes are done with the community college and do that, just get the credit and go. I think that could be a better thing to look at. Mr. Blanc tried dim sum because of you, babe.
Yay! Dim sum is so good. I hope you, hang on, you said you ate it, but did you like it?
Of course he did. It's awesome. Sticky bun?
Yes, American biscuits are different than biscuits because biscuits in other countries are cookies to us. But I don't even know what you call a biscuit anywhere else in the world. Like an American biscuit is it's heavenly, and just if somebody does them well, like I can do them, but they're not.
It's not somebody like make that again. No.
And they're fine, but
like all the stuff you're planning on making is all food that we all eat. Me and the boys are always like, "Can you make that again?"
Right.
So
not like, "Oh, that's okay, Mom."
Yeah, like today, they both really enjoyed the stuff. So Lee Bridges, don't worry, we'll meet Miss Annie. So Scott says, "Hi, Wolters family. Hello. Hope you're well. We're doing good. What's your favorite or funniest story related to somebody trying to scam you?" So. You can think about that. I have one. So I was in Lisbon. If anybody's ever been to Lisbon, there's people trying to sell you hashish. Well, it starts innocuously. Sunglasses? No. Hashish? No, I'm okay. Cocaine? I'm like, whoa, that escalated quickly.
Sunglasses to coke in
So-
like a minute, not even.
So I got like this is over 10 years ago when we first started making these videos, and my buddy Sebastian and I were out getting this Gingina, this little cherry liqueur drink, it's like on a main square, and this guy like comes up and says, while we're in line, and I'm like got a little camera filming, like, hey, this is what we're gonna be talking about today. And this isn't like a tripod, this should be holding a camera. And the guy's like trying to sell us. I'm like, yeah, or you have guys walk up and try to sell you hashish. The guy's like trying to sell us stuff while I'm videotaping. And of course, the local's like, well, it's not real stuff, so you can arrest him. I'm like, and it's still what?
Well, it's now legal too.
Well, some stuff's
It's
legal.
No, wait, it's not legal.
It's
it is
decriminalized.
decriminalized.
And the thing is what's funny is they'll have like, because it was funny. If you look at some of our Portugal videos, the locals like those people are never out there. I'm like, they don't go after the locals, dude. They go after the tourists that are there. So there's that.
They almost never tried to sell it to me because I looked Portuguese. Christian Valdez says, "Do you guys know Deja?" I don't even know how to say that, so no.
No.
How about that?
Sorry, Christian, I did not.
So, hi, John Anderson. Nice to see you.
So, Henry Martinez has a question about Argentina. La Cumbrecita in Argentina is like being in Bavaria. So, there are places in southern Brazil and in Argentina that do definitely have a serious German influence.
Also Italian.
And Italian. But, like, for example, we did, when I studied in Argentina in college, when we went there, they took all the students that were in this program I was with out to the foothills of the Andes for a 1 week intensive Spanish like course, in Argentine culture, and then everybody like dispersed throughout the country. And while we were there, we stayed in this town, and when we go into town, you think, oh, I'll get to practice my Spanish. No. I went to this town. It was like, wow, this is like a small German town, but in warm weather. Weird. And I had to speak German. I spoke more German my first week in Argentina than I did Spanish. And it was quite the experience.
You're so cool.
Yes. But if you do the math, the town I was in was founded in the 40s and founded in the 60s or something. It was like really like, a lot of older German guys there. Oh. Yeah, it was interesting to say the least.
Oh, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that.
Oh, Darren, I'm sorry, buddy. I wish you were on that flight too, going to Germany. Let's see. Revisit a place would you ever revisit Vagabani? Would you ever revisit a place for a particular food? For me, it's Prague for duck confit. Yes, the duck and dumplings in Prague is fantastic. Surprised by Czech food. Thought it would be like German food, which is not my fave. Also, Jocelyn despises German food, yes. By the way.
I don't despise it. I just only like it for, 3 or 4 meals.
A year. Yeah, no, I think places I would go back to, anywhere in France, anywhere in Italy.
Anywhere in Greece.
Anywhere in Lithuania.
Brazil. Churrasco.
Yeah. Southeast U.S., southern food in the U.S.
Southern.
I would go back to San Diego to have carne asada fries. I was watching a video on what to know before you go to the U.S. and I forgot.
Make those?
What?
Can we try to make those?
You can try.
Oh, he's saying I'll fail.
No, you won't fail. I think we should just go to San Diego, and then you could have them. Then because it's like if you have it, then you know what you can.
Take the whole baby.
Dude, I'm not. No, because if anybody's had carne asada fries in San Diego, you know what I'm talking about. They're awesome.
I'd like to make puffy tacos from San Antonio too.
Oh, those are good. That's another good thing. Like I always put that in the Texas videos. Go to San Antonio, have the puffy tacos.
Yeah. Darian's favorite dessert is spaghetti ice. Nobody knew that. Not one person.
Wait,
on
you eat
team
spaghetti ice? I had no
idea. But he had some really good peach ice cream, and he said it could be the American amazing equivalent.
Well, you have the squishy thing. Could you make it?
He made his own spaghetti ice.
I know, but could he use the peach ice cream to make his own spaghetti peach ice cream?
Ooh, Darian.
Darian, I heard him just. I just heard him run out of the kitchen or run out of his situation room.
He's going down to make his food. Yeah.
Yeah. Nick Peters said, "I think spaghetti ice runs through your veins, Darian." Mache, hope you're having a good trip.
Hey. Oh.
So, Mr. Blonde, so scones are similar.
No, they're not.
in like a distant cousin.
They're similar in that
They're
they're a baked good made with flour and like shortening or something, and they look sort of similar, but they don't taste anything alike. Scones are dense, and biscuits should be light and fluffy and melt in your mouth and crispy on the outside and full of butter
and Megan has a very important question for Mache. So, what's the verdict? Whataburger or In-N-Out? They're very different. They are very different.
Good question, Megan.
Trini has a question. Do you think the Europe banning Americans right now could also be political? I think most of it's the spike up in there, but I'm sure there is possible.
There's always politics.
There's always politics in there. I mean, I could whatever I would say next would be political, so I'm just going to stop now and move on. Lee Bridges, dim sum in Los Angeles, avoid Chinatown, go to San Gabriel Valley. Their dim sum competes with the best of Hong Kong. I have actually read about this too. You're right. That like we had friends that told us about this too. Yeah. Thanks, Lee.
Hey, can I ask something political?
No.
I'm gonna anyway. Did y'all see who's running today? Or, they haven't signed up, but they announced it.
Oh, Kanye West.
Kanye, and he was endorsed by Elon Musk and Kim Kardashian West.
Anyway.
So we have three. I mean, at least we have another candidate.
There you go. Javan is a great Portuguese language singer.
Oh, I don't know that at all.
Oh, Christine says, love the acoustics in your live stream. I almost have to do a double take to make sure I'm not being loud since I'm wearing headphones at the moment. I'm glad the audio is working. So whenever I've used my other computer, which is a more powerful computer, but it doesn't have a good camera or audio apparently, like these Microsoft Surfaces I have, the Surface I have works really well for this. Though the plug is an issue because the plug doesn't always charge. But it's not the computer, it's the actual physical cord thing. So
John Anderson says that baklava would be his favorite dessert. You know what? So I like baklava, but what I like better is there is this little place in Anoia, Greece. Or no, it's not. It's not in Anoia. It's in Sparti. And
that one dessert place?
Yeah, right on the outskirts. And they have this chocolate baklava. And other people make chocolate baklava. But this chocolate baklava is like... So between the layers of phyllo, they have chocolate in the nuts and all that, but they have like really thin, like paper thin pieces of chocolate in between it. Oh,
that was pretty good.
It was so stinking good. I do not have that kind of talent.
So, let's see. Nick likes the s'mores.
Oh, hey, new way to make s'mores. Instead of chocolate and graham crackers, get the Liebens cookies. If y'all know what those are, they're kind of like they're almost like a shortbread cookie of some sort. They're German.
No, it's like shortbread and graham cracker mixed together, and there's a coating of chocolate on it. If you have a store that has like the international aisle, it'll be in their cookies there.
And those are the perfect way to make a s'more. So good.
Megan Morris says she likes both Whataburger and In-N-Out, but she says In-N-Out for the win.
In-N-Out for the win, huh?
Let's
Yeezy! Yeezy Mark 2020.
So Lushy asks, why do you like Bojangles so much? I tried Virginia this week. I was not impressed, unfortunately.
Oh.
So we actually had Bojangles in Georgia that sucked.
I had a biscuit.
No, the biscuit was good. The biscuit was good.
Pimento cheese on it, and that was freaking awesome.
But everybody else, the chicken was crap. I mean, the sides were crap.
It was a brand new store. Like, you could tell it was
obviously people never had Bojangles before. So
my biscuit was still good.
The biscuit still was okay, but like it was I was quite disappointed. So.
I'm sorry that yours wasn't awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
Easy, Mark. Mark won't even talk about politics. Like, he doesn't even want me to say that.
Yeah, no, now
he's running.
Shut up. Just shut up, Jocelyn.
Shut up, Mark.
So who was ill at Georgia trip? What caused it, Mark?
What?
You weren't feeling well. What caused you to be ill?
It was just all day in the sun. I was exhausted and just. Sometimes I don't know. I mean, I put like sunscreen on 5 times. I mean, I still got brown as a nut, but I don't know. I just didn't feel. It was too much sun. I think I was just exhausted. It gives me headaches sometimes. So.
Mache's enjoyed Wichita Falls. Been lovely spending time with family. That is always a nice thing to do. Yeah, Megan Morris. Bojangles very location dependent. Yeah, the location they have at the Atlanta airport's fantastic, but I think they cycle through so much stuff. Yeah, like that was yeah. So, ooh, Vagabani. Favorite dessert is a cheese plate. Nice, nice. So Lushy, our experience at Virginia Beach was having our tire blowout on the highway. So that's all we've had from there.
Use fluff for s'mores.
Fluffers.
Oh, I love fluffernutter sandwiches. I might make a video on fluffernutter sandwiches just because that's yummy, yummy stuff. You know what else I like? They now have marshmallows that are like square and flat, and so they don't slip and turn around on your thing.
They totally slip and fall. They suck.
I used them on the two-prong.
You have to have a two-prong. You have to have a two-pronger. If you do not have a two-pronger, if you only have like a stick, they just
the two-pronger
fall off.
But I could get them perfect on both sides and not have to like rotate and rotate and rotate. It was gorgeous.
As Cyril Phillips says, it's Jocelyn's channel, her rules. So I'll go with that.
Thank you, Sarah. Na-na-na-boo-boo, stick your head in doo-doo. We're very mature here. All right, so Henry says, what are the chances of y'all visiting Hawaii sometime this summer, at least for a week? Slim to none.
0 right now.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. What are the 3 cities that have the best regional cuisine? If you want to have very different stuff, I would actually go with pick one place in Sicily, because that's very different. Naples for a bit, the Amalfi Coast is a little bit different than Naples, because Naples has more traditional Italian restaurants, where the Amalfi Coast has got so many tourists. I would do that, and then I would pick some place. What?
I said Napoli.
Yeah, Bologna. It's got some decent stuff.
Oh yeah, Bologna.
For regional things. But also, if you go up in the Veneto, they have very distinct stuff too. So Padova. I would not do Venice. Venice is horrible for Italian. Not horrible for Italian food, but there's so many tourists they don't really have to try that hard. So if you go some other places, that would be good. Mark Salinger, is Toronto a good place to visit? It's an excellent place to visit. Toronto is a awesome big city. It's probably it's one of the top 5 big cities to visit in North America for sure. For sure.
Lee Bridges says, I lead a morning Zoom exercise class dancing to upbeat, clean lyric, world music, musical tour of the planet in song, running out of fresh tracks. Throw ideas at me. Iveci would always be a good one like that. You and Christian Valdez need to chit chat, because Christian will be able to tell you a lot of good stuff on that. I can't name people. I'm not very good at that. And I like cheese and with jams as dessert often too, Vagabani. It's really good. And apparently Nick has had chocolate cheese.
Nice.
What are you doing?
So my leg's cramping.
I'm sorry.
Christian Valdez. The other day I was walking down the street and I talked to a homeless man, and he asked if I had been to the Hooters down the street. And I informed him I had just come from church, so that was fun. See, you're getting the full Memphis experience, buddy. See, you're one of the locals now.
I love that. Oh, Christian, that's perfect.
Oh, Trophius, I love this one. Food question. As a native of Albuquerque, New Mexico, currently in Phoenix, Arizona, I understand.
No, it's okay.
What's your take on red and green chili? Christmas, anyone? So I was going to get in my Santa Fe video, and that's one of the don'ts. Don't feel bad if you celebrate Christmas every day.
Uh-huh.
So if you're in New Mexico, green chilies and red chilies are very popular. They're in a lot of dishes. And they'll ask you when you get your food, what sauce do you want? You want red, green, or Christmas? So if you want green chili sauce, red chili sauce, or mixed. And the thing is usually some places, the green's the hot and the red's a little mild. Usually places can tell you that one. And this one, they're kind of has been look, we can't really guarantee the spicy levels on this, so heads up. But I am a Christmas all the way. What were you getting? Were you getting green?
I like the green.
Yeah, you're getting green.
But I think that's because as a kid I ate green all the time in Tucson. And by the way, get down to Tucson, because for Southwestern food, in my opinion, you get better, more authentic food down south than you do up in Phoenix. So
for sure.
Personal opinion.
So Lushy, honeymoon options. Yay, congratulations. Amalfi Coast, Capri, or Sicily. So you can do Capri while you're on the. Well, you can do Capri when you're on the Amalfi Coast, because the boat goes from Sorrento. I would do the Amalfi Coast and Capri over Sicily.
That was going to be my
because.
choice.
Yeah.
And Sorrento, I don't know what it was about Sorrento, but I felt like it was a really romantic place.
The thing is, Sorrento's the base for a lot of people. Because if you try to stay in Amalfi or Positano, Those are really romantic, maybe, but
expensive.
it's expensive to stay there. And if you take the bus to get there, you're gonna want to throw up every time because it's the vomit bus. Every time I've been on that bus, and I've been on a number of times, every time
driver.
people have been, hire a driver will take you.
It will be worth.
But if your honeymoon, I'd probably go with Positano over Amalfi if you want to be in one of the little small towns. If you want a town that has all the accoutrement and you can take the Circum Vesuvia, the local train line, to go to Pompeii, to go to Herculaneum, to go to Naples. Sorrento is a good place to be, and then you can take the bus into to the Amalfi Coast and spend some days there. Also, there's a boat that leaves for the Isle of Capri from there, so you could do that. But you want to make sure. The thing is Sorrento has got some really crappy apartment rentals and stuff, so I would probably go for a hotel. Just to eliminate your having to worry about stuff, maybe.
Seriously, read
up the reviews.
And read the old ones, read the new ones. Just read.
Because a lot will say, "Oh, you have an apartment," but it'll be like a hotel apartment, and it just
not.
Yeah. So.
But you know what? I think part of why I thought it was such a romantic place is that the bells were ringing the whole time we were there. Well,
no, it's nice. I like Sorrento. I like Sorrento as a base. So. Because also you have a lot of food options there, and there's a lot more price range options. Where it's like I don't know. We ate in Amalfi, we ate in Positano, we ate on Capri. Like you're gonna eat really well when you're there.
Yeah, Mashe says, "Have you tried the marshmallows with chocolate in the middle?" Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get back on a good clean eating thing, and you're ruining it right there, sister. Like that. Yeah. I love all things marshmallow. You know what else I really want is everybody. The gals have had it, and I think Nick had it. The dip cone at Dairy Queen it's got cotton candy dip.
Oh, right,
how I feel about cotton candy.
I know, you're a very, very fan.
Remember the cotton candy in Paris?
Candy floss? Yes, I do.
I love you.
I love you too.
We got the biggest thing of cotton candy walking on the Champs-Elysees, and we shared it.
We were so young and in love. Now we're so old and in love.
I'm like, are we? No, we are.
I thought so. Maybe I need to re-go. Santa Fe. Yeah. Let's see. Ooh, Mr. Blanc cookie dough. Yeah, chocolate chip cookie dough. Heck yeah. I like a little risk when I'm having my thing. Am I going to get or salmonella? I don't care because cookie dough is good. Let's see.
Oh, Lee's husband is washing the dishes. Husband Mark. Can we just say that other husband Mark is good at doing the dishes too?
I'll remember that.
Usually at breakfast.
Someone cut that part out and save that because I don't.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Mark does them in the morning. I just want somebody to clean up the kitchen at night. But it's okay.
It gets done in the morning.
I'll take it. I love you.
Would you rather have me there in bed with you, talking to you and holding you? With the kids jumping on us,
I was.
Or would you rather me downstairs cleaning, and then you can get beat up by the children while you're in bed?
Most adults, like husbands and wives and spouses, all you go to bed and you get to have adult conversations. That's when our kids come in and talk for like hours. They're quiet all day, and then yakety yak. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hi, Kings from Ireland for a world band. Javin was talking about. Christian was talking about him for them. Let's see.
Okay.
15 to 20 in line for the Whataburger. Yeah, when it first opens up. Let's see. Oh, just jumped around. Hey, Joel. Hope you're doing well.
Hi.
Okay. So Henry Martinez. Hey, Jocelyn. Do you think Chicago's known more for pizza or for their hot dogs? I keep reading different information.
Shoot. Well, I think Chicago dog is like the thing that everybody knows from forever. But the pizzas in the last probably 15 years
has become more popular.
Become like a much bigger thing outside of Chicago.
And I think it's because now you have, now you're seeing it at grocery stores. People can buy them and cook them at home. Whereas you didn't have that before. You didn't have those kind of things. But
especially around here.
And if you go to Chicago, it's a hell of a lot easier to find a Chicago dog than it is to get Chicago style pizza.
Right.
So I mean, you get off the train and there's like 3 places you get a Chicago.
Personally, I'd rather eat a Chicago dog than the pizza. I love Lou Malnati's. I do.
Yeah.
But, like, I can eat half, like the small half of it, and I'm done. I also can't do a lot of gluten, and so that's like another thing that like my stomach will be distended the next day. But it's just too much for me. I don't like to. I like rich foods and things, but I don't know. I feel like a glutton when I eat that. I don't know. Maybe nobody else does that. Mark Finley says April has a friend that flying back to Cleveland from DFW tonight. Her plane was supposed to leave at 6:55. It still hasn't taken off yet. She's so upset. That's American Airlines. Possibly. But also, they're doing a lot of new stuff. I mean, yeah, that's like a 3-hour, 2.5-hour thing. And you feel like because less people are flying and less stuff is taking off, you feel like it should be more on time and have less, snafus. But I wonder, there's so many people not working at the airports. Like there's things are on skeleton crews. I wonder if that isn't affecting, travel time and stuff too. I could be, I don't know. I just right now I have a very big heart for all the people working in service. I don't remember who said it on the superheroes of Facebook group today about just be kind to those who are in service. And my sister has been telling me these horror stories, and everyone is dealing with just something that isn't the same. And all of us as travelers are doing the same thing, but those people who are working in service, they're getting their butts handed to them right now. And I think that, I don't know, I feel badly for everyone doing it because everybody's mad right now. I don't like mad. I think it sucks. Oh, anywho. Lee says, I'd rather add an extra flight stop than fly American.
They're better than United.
That's the truth. Another one, Christian says, another one of my favorite Portuguese language tunes is O Pato, the duck. That's funny. The duck.
If you heard it, you'd know it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, wait. Somebody was talking about my cotton candy dipped stuff.
Yeah, like 9 people said cotton candy's awesome. Nick Peterson, cotton candy dip cones are freaking good.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Travel adventure with Eric B. Yes, we have 6 or 7 Chick-fil-A's and they're all packed, but not that packed. But our Krispy Kreme, we have 100 cars in the drive-thru. Yeah,
the hot now sign's on.
Yeah, dude, you have to go.
People smell it, and you just fly in there, right? Oh my goodness.
And so if you're looking for with the exercise stuff, there's a lot of Brazilian groups that have really good beats to go along to work out with. Now, when I used to work out, when I lived in Portugal, it was always Brazilian music that was at the gym, getting people going. So
Thomas says he doesn't find American Airlines too bad.
I call them the Budweiser. It gets the job done. It's not the fanciest thing. It's not, but you know what? You need to get something. You need to get a good beer. You'll be fine. It'll get you there at an affordable price. So,
do you think you'll be cooking
shrimp saganaki?
I might make saganaki, but I've never done it with shrimp. I've never seen it with shrimp, like anywhere ever. Not even on the islands. Where did you come up with that? Is that a thing? How do I not know that? Oh, but you know what I did pull out this week was my yaya's cookbook. So when my yaya passed, my aunt took all of the recipes and she made them into a cookbook for all of us grandkids. Yeah. It was really nice.
So Christian Valdez today ordered Postmates for lunch and asked him to be met out front. Said order was delivered, but I never met anyone, so ordered again. And again, the same thing. I ordered again and finally see my driver. And 3 bags of McDonald's from my previous orders on a back porch.
Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
Oh, there's storms at DFW too, so that could be doing it too. Let's see. Leicester's on city lockdown still. Yeah, I mean, we have friends in London. Then, I mean, then some travel bloggers we follow, and they're it's their first time out. In 110 days. I'm like, whoa, like going out doing stuff. But there's still some places that are locked down, or places will go back in lockdown. So
Lee said I'd add 2 stops to avoid United. Shoot, I might add all the stops to avoid United.
It's like I'm flying. I'll go via Helsinki to get to Chicago from Champaign.
Well, maybe. Oh, Helsinki's nice. They have really clean air.
I like Helsinki. I like Finland.
Yeah, especially in the summer.
Yeah, Megan Morris is up for tipping at 30%. Yeah, we've been tipping like mad, whatever we can to help.
Yeah.
Because I've been lucky. My job hasn't been affected yet. Our YouTube channel has been wiped out, but my normal day job is still okay. So let's see.
So my house in Savannah was like quarter mile from Krispy Kreme, but I could walk out to the end. I'm sure I've told you all this. I could walk to the end of my driveway and see if the hot now sign was on. I'd like walk out and like, oh shoot, it's on, come on, and jump in the car and run down and get myself one donut. Because I can do that. I have that kind of willpower.
She is a better person than all of us, people. Just remember that.
I'm really proud of myself for that. I think that's something I get to brag about.
So Lee Bridge, if it's Western U.S., I fly Southwest. Yeah, I mean Southwest does great in the Southwest of the U.S. I don't have anything bad to say about Southwest. So people really care about them. They seem to be nice. We've flown with them. We flew with them to the Southwest to Arizona, and it was a good experience. Okay, so Nick D brings up a good point. Krispy Kreme is fine, but I prefer to find a good local shop. This is one of the things. So I was watching
disagree.
I was watching my What to Know Before You Go to the U.S. video, and that was one of my things. If you want to start a conversation with people, ask them, hey, we're going to get the best donuts in town, and that will get people talking because people have their own perceptions. Like here in Champaign, where we live, there's no good donut place.
Everyone likes Pandemonium.
They like Pandemonium, but have you had their donuts?
Nope.
Yeah.
Because I only eat Krispy Kreme donuts.
Well, yeah, but
nobody makes them as light and fluffy.
No, they don't.
And that's why I like Krispy Kreme.
Pandemonium donuts is one of those ones that will do like the big, huge donuts and all kinds of stuff. They're fine. They're fine, and there's
it's about the toppings, not the donut.
Yeah, and there's industrial donuts, which is here, and again, it's just the toppings, not the donut. I like the donut itself. That's what I'm looking for.
Like anybody can throw some sugar and
You put maple and bacon on top. That's what people do now. It's we got a maple bacon one.
Of course you do.
And so
here's some icing and here's some bacon crumbles.
Yeah, so that makes it cool. Or like this industrial one, because it's like Duck Donuts in North Carolina, where you see them make the donuts, which is cool.
Right.
So you know it's fresh, but it doesn't mean it. Like Duck Donuts is good. Gibson's Donuts in Memphis. Christian, hook yourself up with some of those, man. Oh, so good.
So donuts. That is a good thing to ask people. Ronnie says, just a weird question. I'm not sure if someone has asked the kids, but was wondering who their favorite soccer team in Europe was. I think both kids would say Benfica.
Well, I think there'd be a few. Benfica and Lisbon.
Yeah.
Vicenza. But they haven't seen the games or anything. Different stuff in Italy. And then the gear that Caleb likes to get the Paris Saint-Germain gear because it's got the Jordan logo on it. So he actually likes Jordan.
But I think that's more it. And I think he likes PSG. Like their design is really good. I think that he likes it from a fashion standpoint, but I don't know that he loves it. I don't know that he loves the team.
Yeah, it just likes the outfit. They do have cool design. Mr. Blonde, Krispy Kreme is better than Dunkin' Donuts. I don't think anyone disagrees with you. That is 100% correct.
If Dunkin' Donuts has the damn donuts.
Oh, yeah, there are Dunkin' Donuts because we used to give the kids Dunkin' Donuts after school. They never had donuts.
It's right down the street. It's like half a block away.
And their donuts aren't really any good.
I would go get them. Caleb would get like a chocolate Long John and Liam would get a bagel. And I can't tell you how many times I would pull up and they wouldn't have either of those things. I'm like, well, what donuts do you have? And they said, we don't have donuts.
What bagels do you have? We don't have any bagels. Like, why are you open?
But, I mean, for coffee at 3:30 in the afternoon, this one might have been here. Hang on, you'll have the other half. That might have been the best fare I've had in like a decade.
Yeah, finally. The pears at our place have been
Perfectly
crap
soft, but not too mushy.
We've been here for 9 years. That was the first
Oh
decent pear
God,
we got.
9 years. Oh, that's a long time to be somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I've now tied Savannah.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about that.
So Kilardia asks, "Where do you stay when you're in London?" I stay with my buddy, and he lives.
Never stay in a hotel.
Yeah, never say no to free place to stay. He lives kind of between Victoria Station and Parliament. For now, yeah. So
He moves a lot,
dude. Because I remember, so he started living there the year after I moved to Lithuania. So he's been there for
long enough that he doesn't get his expat status anymore.
Yeah, so he's been there for a long time.
And the company that he works for at one point gave him
was paying for all of his stuff, and now
they're like expat.
They're like, okay, you've been here for 10 years, you're no longer an expat, you're a local, so they cut off those benefits.
But that house that he had a five level house at one point.
It was crazy,
just insane. Like it was so. Oh my gosh! Woo! I think that Princess Kate would have been happy with that. I mean, it was incredible.
So Joe Gallagher, you guys really hate United. Mr. Brown, who doesn't hate United? I used to really like United. I used to be a big United proponent for years. I would take my student groups with United. I would make sure we flew United, all kinds of stuff. And then like 2015, they started treating people really bad. And my last thing where I just cut them off was a trip we were supposed to go to Costa Rica, and they were the biggest jerks about the whole thing, and it was just you know us, we know if it's weather, if it's things happen, it's no big deal, but it was just such a horrible experience. Then after that, I'm like, I don't know if we want to fly with them anymore. And then Jocelyn, we had all those miles. We had like 500,000 miles each, and so Jocelyn, did some stuff, and of course, it was a horrible experience.
Slammed a door in my face.
Yeah, I mean, it was just
then
bad.
I went to customer service. 5 people doing nothing. I said, I'm in a predicament. I'm not in the best of moods, but who wants to help me?
And nobody.
No one spoke for like a good 30 seconds. Like 5 people. It was 4 or 5 people. Anyway, there was no, and they all just looked at me. And finally, someone said, "Well, I can," and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
I wasn't mean. I'm never mean. I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, they
it was
that, and then,
awful.
And then they had all the stuff with people getting beat up on the planes, and it was just like.
And you know what? It bothers me. My friend Rhonda, she flies for this. She's a flight attendant with them, and so I always feel badly when I'm like dogging them. But I just can't help it. They've burned my biscuits too many times.
Yeah, and it has to be. And the thing is, hi buddy. It hadn't been like the flight attendants have been fine to us.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that.
But it was like
it's the gate staff.
The gate staff.
Part of that's because we're at O'Hare.
Yeah, but then
Chicagoans are just Chicago.
The back office stuff, trying to get things done, or when you have any questions, that's what really got me with Deltas. They were so helpful.
Customer
service was so much better, and I'm like, man,
right.
You don't treat me like I'm dog poo poo, So.
Well, and also, I mean, I don't know. Chicago has its own sort of thing, and I've gotten used to it over the years, and I'm better about it. I used to think that everyone was just gruff, and they're not. They're just like to the point about things, and it always felt like part of that is because I came from the South, where everybody's like bending over to be sweet, and so that makes a difference, particularly at O'Hare, but not necessarily everywhere else. Anyway, what do you?
I'm looking up Munster Donuts in Munster, Indiana, but
means to travel on.
It's 110 miles. It's 110 miles. Oh, it's up by Chicago.
Munster Donuts. I wonder.
There's no
what
tolls.
That is? No tolls.
They're saying Munster Donuts in Munster, Indiana was the best donuts.
Oh, it's in Munster, Indiana.
Henry Martinez has a cultural question. Mark and Jocelyn, did you guys ever watch the movie Euro Trip? Yes, probably the last movie I ever saw with my brother. That came out in 2004. Is it true that some Europeans were offended by it? I actually think it's a great, funny movie. It is pretty funny. I think if people were offended by it, it's just the humor. They were easily offended. They were easily offended. Or
they were looking to be offended.
Yeah, they're looking to be offended, or they're just like, I'm going to say I'm offended just because I can say that and make fun. So,
Thanks, Liz. You're sweet.
It's in the dishwasher. Is it still going?
Is there a red light?
Okay, pull it out. I don't know if it's washed though. It's on the bottom with the pull out the thing.
Sarah said, "Gotta love a TikTok, Jocelyn."
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Someone was asked about going
Stan's Donuts is pretty good.
Yeah, this isn't too bad. I went there when I was in Chicago last year. And I didn't realize, like, I'd heard of Stan's, but I didn't make the connection that I was in Stan's and eating Stan's donuts until I was eating my donuts.
So when you say Stan's, I think of like the Stan's, as in Kazakhstan.
Well, that made me think about there was a Central Asia question earlier, but I was there and I didn't realize that it was. I mean, they were good. Donuts were pretty good, but I didn't realize it was like the thing to do until there was a bunch of these people doing their Instagram, like all the Instagram influencers were there, like taking their pictures with their donuts and like each step of the thing, and I'm like, so then I'm like, oh, that's the place, right? Gotcha. I mean, I don't know if it was that good, but they were decent. Someone was asking earlier about going to the Central Asia. Yes, we have considered going there. There's a bunch of those countries last year were really pushing to get people to go. They offered trips and stuff like that's why you saw a lot of travel vloggers and influencers were posting content from there in 2019. I think later 2018 because they had a big push to get people there, so they were giving out free trips and all kinds of stuff. And we already had they were like, oh, we would like you to come like in 2 weeks. I'm like, I got stuff booked, so we booked farther out.
J Cravo 2184. How do you feel about flying with a 1-year-old baby? Should she be in a car seat or on someone's lap? I don't even know the rules. Any thoughts? Okay, so at this point, at under 2 years, they can sit on your lap. That's your choice. You know your child better than we do. So take into consideration that usually at 1, they're walking. And when they first walk, from about 1 to 2 is the hardest time to travel with a kid. Because they just want to get up and run around, and especially now with the COVID stuff, that's going to be harder. So in my opinion, if it were me right now and I could afford to do it, I would get an extra seat and put the car seat in that. The car seat has to be FAA approved, and there will be a sticker somewhere on your car seat. Look on the sides and the back, but they will ask, not always, but often the flight attendant will ask to see that sticker. So just be ready to point that out if that's what you do. If you take a baby on your lap, baby, usually you just strap in and you hold the baby. There is no seatbelt on the baby, which freaked me out. I have been on in Europe where I had my seatbelt and then they had a little seatbelt to attach to mine to go around the baby. But I've never seen that in the U.S.
Yeah,
that was
I don't think they're allowed to do that anymore. I think kids are supposed to be.
Their idea
free?
is that if you, and like when I had infants and I strapped them to me in the Baby Bjorn thing, they had this thing that like I had to unlock the sides so the baby would be free.
And didn't the baby have to face forward or something?
No, they could be facing me, but I had to open that thing so it was off of me or off the baby because I would crush the baby. I'm like, well, I'd rather crush the baby than my baby go flying around the cabin.
And get crushed into the bulkhead.
Anyway, yeah. I don't know. I don't understand the rules, but the rules are under 2, either sitting in your lap, arms around the baby, or in a seat. This, in some respect, the seat, especially if they can still fit in the little pumpkin seat thing and you've got it where it can go into a stroller, makes it kind of easy for you in the airport.
We've done that.
I did that several times. But the other thing I'm going to suggest to you is we have something, it was called, is it Go-Go Babies or Baby Go-Go's?
Go-Go Baby.
And it has a Z on the babies. And it's just this great little nifty thing that's got 2 wheels and then a telescoping handle. And it's got like a back plate where you can take an upright car seat and put those wheels on it and drag the kid around the airport just like you would a piece of luggage. We drug our kids. I mean, those children were drug around
multiple countries. It made life so much easier too.
And they loved it. They were like, because they're behind us waving at people and just having a grand old time. We should have babies just for that.
And people were like laughing at that, seeing us do that, but it's great. Also, I would say with the car seat, the baby is a lot more comfortable, or the 1 year old is a lot more comfortable, and they are more chilled in the flight because when they're in a normal seat, they're very uncomfortable. I think that makes a big difference too. But again, it might also depend how long your flight really is.
Also, the other thing, even if your kid doesn't take a bottle anymore, take preferably bottle, even if they're big, because that sucking action, even more than just swallowing, but actually sucking on a bottle at takeoff and landing. The minute your ears pop on land, when you're starting your descent, stick that thing in the baby's mouth, and life will be a lot easier.
Yeah, that's why those kids are always crying on it. It's the air pressure change on the way up.
Bye, Lee. It was fun having you.
Thanks, Lee. And hello to Liz and Derek. I know you said hi already too, but Derek felt bad because he was even later. There was one up here. Switzerland. Switzerland is worth it. It's just expensive. I wouldn't take your kids, but it's beautiful. It is gorgeous when you're there, Joe.
Really expensive.
Let's see.
All right.
So Trini wants to know, is it true that Sardinia has the best, freshest seafood in all of Italy? I don't know if it's the best or freshest. She says Sardinia, since it's an island, you have that benefit. But also, Sardinia has very different cuisine than the rest of Italy. A lot of tourists that have gone there, they've commented that the food in Sardinia was really like a Portuguese kind of style. So it's a different kind of thing. So you're gonna have different styles of fish, like prep stuff, than you would have in mainland Italy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So Nick said, so I guess you don't store your 1-year-old in the overhead compartment, and
we did that once.
Megan said apparently they did that in the early days of commercial aviation, which is hilarious. What's going on?
That is freaking torture.
It's torture. We put your brother up there in a train in Portugal because it was just
funny.
Fun, and we were stuck for 45,000 hours. And
so we had the fast train in Portugal, and it broke down, so we had to wait for a few hours and then we had to go across the other train, and then the other train was full, so we were sitting on the floor making pretend campfires and stuff. It was a fun time, a good experience.
Mom,
Caleb got sick as we know. Caleb didn't.
What?
We all got sick. Anyway.
I
This was to my kids, like you said in your video. Yep, Mr. Blonde, I'm on there for that.
Ludicrous?
So
It means absolutely
crazy.
Yeah, that was
Like outrageously crazy. Just unfathomably stupid.
Your audience would like to know, have you guys been to Brazil?
See,
See.
we have been to Brazil a few times. Mark lived there for a while. We've been, the kids have been there. We spent quite a bit of time in Brazil. We would like to go back. Mark lived in Sao Paulo and taught there for a bit too. So, Mr. Means to Travel says, Jocelyn, what's your favorite cocktail recipe that you're excited to share on the channel? So, my favorite one that Sandra and I made was the espresso old fashioned, and this is her husband Charlie's thing. So when we were in Savannah, because they had just been at our house all week the week before, we had my birthday dinner with them and at their house, and I had 2 of them. They're just so good. It's espresso and bourbon and some other little bits, and oh my gosh, it's just so tasty.
So Lorelai, in terms of Brazil, we have tons of Brazilians from Shocks, Don'ts for Rio, Sao Paulo. I still have a couple left, like What's Know Before You Go, and some stuff for like Minas Gerais. We have safety videos for Brazil, food in Brazil. We have all kinds of stuff.
Go ahead.
Liam is
Let me open it because you're gonna tear it. So, and then they're talking about infused waters. My favorite is lemon and mint. That would be what I make when I infuse water. That's my
So
favorite.
Vagabond Bunny says, favorite Airbnb? Mine, Athens, Greek, lots of cutlery there. Also, honorable mentions to the Airbnb in Dingle, place with the best name ever, Ireland.
Dingle.
Yep. Oh, Mary Ellen's on the house.
Hey, Mary Ellen. Nice to see you.
Mr. Bond, I did not know watermelon was part of the cucumber family. But I think it's important. So the Airbnb we stayed at, it was a VRBO actually, we stayed at on this trip. It was like limited cutlery, but lots of bowls. if you wanted
baskets.
baskets.
Baskets. No, there were a lot of bowls too, like big bowls, like serving bowls, but only 6 forks, 6 knives, and 6 spoons, because the limit of people in the place is 6. So I wrote the lady. She said, if you have any input, I'd be happy to have it. So I wrote her, and she was really kind about it. I said, I understand that you probably have 6 pieces of cutlery because you only limit to 6 people, but I had to do. I was doing dishes all the time, just because we ate 3 meals a day in there. We weren't going out to eat, and so yeah, there's that.
Yeah. I think the best Airbnb I've been to was in a really not really good part of Carbondale, Illinois. Because it was the most decked out thing ever. I mean, they had, I think they had PlayStation, Switch, Wii U. They had a full DVD collection. I mean, it's like, we're talking like hundreds of DVDs, hundreds of video games. The fridge came stocked with Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, orange juice, vodka, beer. I mean, it was insane. I'm like,
crazy.
I mean, and the thing is, I looked at. I think one of they must have gone to school there, because they had 7 other places, and it was like in Bali, India, China. Like, they had all kinds of other places, and it was just it was insane. Like, they had a guitar for you. All the rooms had their own like big, huge TV, flat screen TV kind of thing. Alexa. I mean, I was like, this is. Like, it was really nice. I would never go back, but it was really nice. That was the one that like blew me away. Another great one was when we had in Savannah last time.
Oh yeah,
or 2 times ago.
That wasn't through Airbnb, but yes. One of my favorites was that place we stayed in Bath. That was
that was cool.
So
that was cool.
Interior design on that. That's what I wanted to do in our dining room. Just everything really dark gray. The walls, the floors, the ceiling, all of it. It was such a cool. It was gorgeous. Christian, see you later, dear. So
Mr. Blonde has a question for Mark Finley. What is the most Texas of Texan towns? And Mark says Fort Worth. And then what was second?
No doubt.
Second place, San Antonio. Nice.
Oh, I love San Antonio.
So Lorelai, we have been to Peru. We have tons of videos on Peru too. Big things to remember about that. You want to go to Machu Picchu, you're going to fly to Cusco. Really high elevation there, so take that first day in Cusco off. Just be relaxed, because it can get dangerous with air altitude sickness. So if you need oxygen in the first 24 hours, just ask your front desk. They'll have an oxygen tank there you can use. So
yeah, we love Peru, and with antique art. So Peru is great for all art. I bought several pieces of artwork when we were there, and I could have bought a lot more if I had more money. And not that they were terribly expensive, but like I could have just bought art there all day. It was really amazing stuff.
So Nick D, I keep checking the button on Airbnb to require Wii U, and the results always come up empty. Yeah, Wii U wasn't very popular, so
that's funny.
Leslie, what are your favorite 3 cities in Italy? My favorite 3 cities for tourists, because it's different, because we have friends, so I have to eliminate Vicenza. But for tourists, I would say Rome. I would say Ravenna, and then
Ravenna is the one on the East Coast, right? Yeah. What? There's something else I was thinking of. Luca's good. Florence would be good if no one else was there.
Yeah, Florence. I mean,
it's just too crowded.
When you talk about over tourism, Florence is just
and Venice the same thing. Venice is lovely, but it's almost better to go during the rainy season when there's less tourism, because it's just
Yeah. So Scorpio Sue asks, have you been to San Marino? Yes, we have. And is it worth a day trip? Yeah, it's worth a day trip. If you're staying in Rimini or Ravenna, you can do a day trip from there. Or if you're near Bologna, you can do that.
I liked San Marino. I thought it was cute.
It was. And the thing is we took a bus, so we took students there, and the bus ride through was very windy, so some of the students weren't feeling so good at the end.
It was a little tough, wasn't it?
So there is that.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what else can we ask?
I don't know. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, we're still adjusting back to the time change that 1 hour. Here's my question
No,
for people.
I'm tired because I got up at 5 o'clock this morning.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
I spent 3 hours scrubbing baseboards in the whole house. We have a very big dog with a lot of hair and who also slobbers, and it needed to be done.
It needed to be done. No, but I was going to say with what was I just saying? I lost my train of thought.
You love me. I'm the best wife you can
Yeah, well,
imagine
that's
having.
obvious. That's always in the top. That's always right here.
Sweet.
Indeed, I am. Let's see. Some other things. No, it's the time change stuff. Okay. Well, no. John Anderson has a question. Jocelyn, do you like to cook with cast iron? I can't do without it.
So I do like cast iron, and I actually bought a new cast iron pan, and I'm going to do a video on how to season it and just how to care for cast iron and things like that, because people are really afraid of it. What I bought recently, did we maybe talk about this on the thing? Mark got me a carbon steel pan for Christmas, and wow, it's all the things that cast iron is, but it's lighter, like a lot lighter. I just absolutely love it. And if I could afford 50 of those pans, that's all I would cook with. They're just incredible.
We would need to be Mr. Beast or like one of those guys to be able to afford those.
Those pans are, you can get less expensive ones, but Mark got me one from what is handmade.
Sure.
And we literally just gave money to one person.
I know.
Who made it.
And they made a great pan.
Gorgeous pan. Like it's a piece of artwork.
So, Mr. Blonde, a question to you, Jocelyn. What's the most Georgia of Georgian towns?
Well, Savannah's probably on that list. Albany for its own, but that's Southwest Georgia is like a whole different kind of ball game. Coastal Georgia would be Savannah. I don't know.
Athens for the university.
Oh yeah, Athens. My gosh, I was trying to think up that direction.
If you need your German,
yeah,
Helen for the German
Well, yeah,
stuff.
but that's not Georgia at all. Yeah, Athens is definitely another one. Vidalia. You can like go to the Onion Festival, and let me tell you, that'll be like straight up Georgia. Yep. So
means to travel. It's okay to be tired from the nonstop fires we'll experience into the wee hours the last 2 nights here. That's true, Liz. That's true. There's one up here. Oh, also, so Mr. Bond wanted to know the most Brazilian towns. Yeah, there's so much Brazil. That's Brazilian towns. Rio is such Brazil. That's one. Ouro Preto.
I was gonna say Ouro Preto.
And Minas Gerais is one. And then probably Florianopolis is another one that's really Brazilian. Felipe. Yeah. So there's that. Time zones. They're talking about time zones. Tell us, Mark. Tell us about time zones.
Hang on just a second.
But there's a food question. Best U.S. city for barbecue outside the U.S. What's your favorite place for barbecue?
Well, there is no barbecue outside the U.S.
They try. It's like Mexican food when they're in Europe. It's so cute. They just hold it.
Here's the thing. Like, barbecue is so regional. I don't think you can pick a city. If you like a style, that's your city. I like all the barbecue. Like, I love when I'm in Texas, give me brisket, like all damn day. But like brisket in Kansas City, not so much. I mean, it's just. But Kansas City has they have great pulled pork. I mean, everybody's got a different
rub
thing.
Ribs in Memphis.
Yes, absolutely. In Memphis, I'm eating ribs. I'm not
big
eating
old ribs.
others.
And was it Dreamland, Alabama?
Wow,
so good.
And Alabama white sauce.
That's some good stuff.
So, I don't know that I can pick a city for barbecue. I just love all the barbecue.
Lorelai knows. My mom knows to keep them seasoned with bacon grease for the cast iron.
I got some. Hang on, stop. Okay, Megan Morris, have you ever gotten novelty passport stamps in Liechtenstein, Ecuador at Mitad del Mundo?
We have the Mitad del Mundo stamp in our passports.
And also we got one in Peru.
Machu Picchu.
Yeah. So yes, we do that. Absolutely. Hi, Chris Bates. I did Venice during the rainy season. As long as you figure out the canal system, it's not so bad. Nick D, I would agree with that. It makes it pretty easy.
So in relation to the time zone questions, have anyone noticed that sometimes some directions you've traveled hurt you more, or sometimes it's more of a thing? Because I've had this discussion where some people, like a 2-hour time change actually hurts them more than like a 6 or 7 hour time change. Because like now we've been on the East Coast, it's just 1 hour ahead, but it's like it's only 10. But I'm like, I'm tired because we spent enough time that became the new midnight. Whereas if it's 6 hours for me, sometimes it's just such a big jump. It's like, it's no big deal. I don't know.
Honestly, going west always kills me. Going east is fine.
Yeah, we get to Europe and go, but we come back home, it's like...
Right. But, going ahead in time is an easier thing than going back in time.
Going back in time.
So, lovely, I've not collected any Italian art glass. I don't really collect much of anything other than paintings from street artists, usually.
So, Henry Martinez, what country in the UK do you guys think has more sunshine? Probably England, I guess.
Southern coast.
Yeah.
I don't know.
South, yeah, probably England.
Yeah.
But that's it's not really like a big difference between the two. Though I will say, it doesn't rain all the time in England like you think it will. Same thing in Ireland. So just be prepared for it.
Liz says, Jocelyn, do you have any tips for making sandwiches for packed lunches? I do. Okay, so here's the thing. However you want to build your sandwich, a good thing, one, to not squish them is to get boxes. And I use little sandwich boxes for my kids' lunches, partially to like eliminate, having waste out there, like plastic baggies and all that. But also, they don't get crushed. But here's the thing. It has to be like bread, meat, cheese, meat, bread. That builds, you got to have the cheese in between the meats. And I can't tell you exactly why, but it
totally
makes a way that it's a huge thing. She converted me. I like to layer it so that if I have like lettuce, meat sticks to the bread better than lettuce. So I'll put like bread, meat, lettuce, cheese, meat, bread. Or like if, whatever. I might put two things of lettuce.
Yeah, because she makes a killer ham and cheese with mayo and spinach sandwich. It's awesome.
But it has to be like, my sandwiches sometimes get to be looking like Scooby-Doo sandwiches. They're like, I like to pile them up.
They're good though.
Yes. And when you put sauces on, instead of putting a whole bunch on one side, you have to put a little on both sides. It's all about balance, I think. It's got to be, okay, that's way too much.
Yeah, so Vagabondy says, do you know there's only 4 passport colors? It's red, blue, green, black, right? I think
so.
I think black's the not corporate, but governmental or whatever.
The
ambassador, diplomatic one, yeah.
Yeah, I want one of those.
One day. Trini, is it true that South Carolina has more to do than North Carolina? No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't think that at all.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Thomas Rise always get killed coming home from Europe. Yeah, I'm here with you. Oh, Judith says, what do you do with your dog when you travel? So we have a house sitter that comes. My cousin, who's a college student, he comes and stays at our house for us. So and Brig, we've had several. Like he's the lady. He's the latest in a long line of house sitters that we've had.
Well, yeah. So I am an ultimate sandwich artist. I love sandwiches more than that's been the hardest thing for me with American gluten. That I have to give up sandwiches. I will every now and then I'll make a big old sandwich and I'll hurt for the next 24 hours, but it's worth it.
So Lorelai's talking about more about Ireland. So for me, I always tell people Ireland is a great first destination for Europe because you have the English, you have tons of tourist infrastructure. They like tourists going there. They treat the tourists nice. Food's good. You know the food as well. Lots of small towns so you can drive. You get the adventure of driving on the other side of the road, and which can be a little scary at first, but it's really fun. And then what you'll see is by the end of your trip, you go to Dublin and realize, man, I should have spent more time just exploring more of Ireland than just Dublin. And I spent, like everyone says, I feel like I spent too much time in Dublin. I wish I would have gone out and explored more because there's so many little towns you can go see. And it's just like that's one thing I'm really hoping that we can like be able to go to Ireland this fall because for me, I feel it's a great family road trip destination just to drive around and be around, or a good road trip with friends. I've done that too. Going to Ireland, it's just really, really nice because there's so many little towns you go to. Like, it's a really cool town. I just want to stay here, and there's music and all kinds of stuff, so it's nice.
No, the bread doesn't get soggy on my sandwiches. Liz, I like super thin sliced meat.
Liz's question is, what's your meat slice to cheese slice ratio?
So I do really thin sliced meat, no matter what kind of meat it is. But so let's say I'm doing ham, I'd put a little spread of mayo, and I would put at least 2, probably 3 slices, depending on how thin it is. 1 slice of cheese, and then 2 to 3 slices of meat. Again, on the other side. But like if I'm doing like one of my favorite sandwiches is salami and provolone with a little mayo. And then you have to have 4 pieces, because the salami's only that big, and so you have to wad them up so they look pretty.
I remember we used to have that all the time, yeah.
Sometimes 5. Like, I'll, wad 4 of them up, and then to make them cohesive, I'll put, 1 on top, flat, and then 1 piece of provolone. I guess I only just do 1 piece of cheese ever, and then 5 more pieces on the other side.
Well, it depends how thick the slice is, too.
But I think that meat tastes better if it's super thin. Like, what is that? Oh, I do, John. I love cucumbers on sandwiches. They're such a good thing, but they don't travel well. So
that'll solidify your stuff.
That'll do it real quick. But if you're going to eat it immediately, absolutely put some cucumbers.
What I like about the cucumbers is also why I like spinach over lettuce in my thing is the crispness, because then you have the texture in there that it really feels like you're getting like a body of your sandwich, which is really nice. Yeah, Killarney's really nice, Joe. I like Killarney, but Kilkenny's my go-to.
I also like arugula on my sandwiches because I love that peppery.
Yeah.
Got a little bite to it. So.
Well, I'm glad we could help out. So Henry asks, when this pandemic is over, would New Zealand be on the top of your list? It's already at the top of our list. It's up there. It's just now we're trying to figure out when we can travel, when we'll be allowed to go places, when we'll be allowed to go into places. It's so tough right now, and it's funny because I've been making all these. Night Sue. I've been making, trying to put videos together, but it's like putting together the travel videos because no one's watching. I mean, some travel videos are getting watched these days, but it's more like the people that go on their own adventures, and our videos are more travel prep, so no one's watching them. Like the channel's just toast right now. But it's like I make these videos. I'm like, oh, like I did one on Amboise, France. I was like almost in tears. So I'm like, I miss this so much. The kids are like, we want to travel. This sucks. I'm like, I know.
They were literally complaining, really bitching up a storm today about not being able to travel. And I was like, somehow that made it all worth it.
Yeah.
The fact that my kids appreciate it, because you never knew they appreciated it before, but now they do, and it's pretty awesome.
So Chris Bates is asking, have you guys watched Eurovision? So funny. Are you talking about the new movie with Will Ferrell? I haven't seen it yet, but I want to watch it.
Or actual Eurovision?
Because I've seen enough of Eurovision itself.
Real Eurovision.
And I knew people that competed in it, like in Lithuania.
Of course you did.
So, it was so hilarious because the
Mark
guy
was famous in Lithuania.
This is pre-Wolters World, so it was, I think we were in a...
It was because you were so cool.
Sure.
And all your friends were like,
no, it's because it's a small country, and so I knew so many people that you would go out, and so they had their own National Enquirer stuff. So of course you'd be out with your friends, and people take a picture, and you're there. So it's like, hey, that's me, and that was before I collected the pictures. Now I'm like, oh,
wish I had some of those. I'd frame those and put them in your office, and it would be funny.
Hell yeah, it would.
My husband's famous.
You're more famous than me. That's right.
Oh goodness. All right. I'm pretty pooped. Are you gonna be mad if I say, can we call it quits?
It's okay.
Are y'all gonna be mad if I say?
Trini, are your boys really into video games? Sadly, yes. That's the only thing Liam talks about now. I'm like, dude, don't care about the news.
He gets all excited and he tells me all this stuff. I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't know what game it is. Mark knows the games.
Yeah.
I let Mark manage understanding what our kids are playing and whether or not they should be playing it. Because I can't.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, it's okay.
He gets so
It's
excited.
okay.
He was fussing. The power went out today, and he was fussing because he was going to miss the time slot to earn some new skin or something. And I was like, holy honkers, too much.
So they've all given you permission that you can go. And since
Thank
it's
you.
your channel, we'll take off. So thank you, everybody, for popping on. I really appreciate it. Before you head off, don't forget to click the like button. If you want to subscribe to Jocelyn's channel, please subscribe to Simply Jocelyn. And we wish you guys all the best. Thank you, everybody, for all the great questions. And we will see you. Yeah, we're not going to. Yeah, Julius Caesar, we're not going to Hawaii in the near future. So Megan Morris for the spoiler. Yeah, so we'll do that. So
I love you guys.
Thank y'all.